Alright, motherfuckers, what up? David and Josh here. We're doing a Tool retrospective. And funny little story. Last week I had texted Zach. I said, yo man, we're all getting together to do a Tool retrospective next week if you want to join. He goes, we already did one. Because what happened was I was going through my Facebook memories a couple weeks ago, and back when we used to do the Marshmallow Madness thing, David or Josh, somebody had said, dude, we should do Tool. And we were like, oh yeah, we should, da-da-da-da-da. And so then I texted Dave. I was like, dude, how have we not done a Tool retrospective? He's like, I'm down. So I hit up Josh, and we're like, we're going to fucking do this. We set the date, but I tell Zach, and Zach's like, we did one already. And I was like, nah, really? He's like, yeah, man. And I was like, alright, so I'm scrolling through the fucking YouTube, and boom, straight up, 8 years ago, me, Zach, and Josh did a Tool retro, and I'm almost afraid to hear it. You know, it's so long ago. But, you know, opinions change over the years, so. Plus, you know, we finally have that long-awaited one. If you guys remember me and David's review, it was 2.5 hours of bitching at each other. But so some opinions have changed on my end. But what I like to do for all of our podcasts and shows and stuff, I like to ask you guys on the Speaker Brains Facebook group, if you want to join the fun, just go on Facebook, look up Speaker Brains, join the group, not the page. Make sure it's the group. And the only rule is don't be a dick.
Unless you're me.
Yeah, unless you're David.
I'm usually an asshole to everyone. My opinions only matter.
So I like to ask everybody before we do one of these, you know, hey, if you want to give your thoughts in the comments, we'll read it out on the show. Let some of the viewers and fans be a part of it. So our buddy Michael Schwartz mentions Schwartz the second, I guess, says Lusk needs more love and album reissue. And I texted Dave. I was like, what the fuck is Lusk? So I asked him, and he says Paul D'Amour and Tool's resident keys guy cut an album after Paul left Tool. Danny sits in on drums, really cool alternative psychedelic stuff. So yeah, that's something I need to check out. It's sitting in my Discogs cart right now. Then our buddy Travis Brandon says, even though I am not hugely knowledgeable on Tool, I do like the few songs I heard. Their newest album, Fear Inoculum, is amazing though. Listened to it when it came out in 2019 and really enjoyed it. I need to give it another go. Haven't heard too much of it since the first listen though. And then our buddy Dylan Northrup says, when will this be posted? So there's his 2 cents.
Next week.
And so our buddy John Short says Enema is the best one. And then our buddy Frank Del Vecchio, who is my co-host, we host the Fresh from the Basement podcast together. He says, have to say I consistently love the entire discography. Wish I was able to join you guys for Tool time and expand more on what I love about them so much. LOL, but this'll do.
Throw your comments in the video.
And then, yeah, I'm sure Frank will probably comment on the YouTube.
Put a story, man. There's no word limit.
Yeah. And so Mick Howell, a buddy of ours, says Undertow, Anima, and Lateralis truly set the bar for what Tool, for what Tool should be. 3 of the best albums in history, and that's not an over-exaggeration either. They are legitimately mind-blowing. 10,000 Days began the decline, in my opinion, of what Tool has become. It's still a fantastic album and has several songs there that are absolutely amazing. But the vibe started to change here. Then there's Fear Inoculum. Z
He has my full opinion on that.
What the fuck? He finishes, most boring, predictable, cliche albums I've ever had the displeasure of suffering through, and I tried to give it a chance, but damn, just no. No. So the current state of Tool is much like many other great bands I used to love a lot. They just aren't at their best anymore. Pack it up. Pour your souls into one more amazing album and then pack it up. Then our buddy Abraham Ram says, first 3 albums are gold. 10,000 Days was good, but something felt off. Then we got the underwhelming Fear Inoculum. They also happen to have one of the most pretentious fan bases of any band. And then we have Jared Lord, a member of the Zipper Guts. He says, I'm a fan of their early work after Anima. I've only liked a couple songs here and there, but Opiate, Undertow, and Anima are the top tier albums. And thanks for your comments, everybody. But yeah, a lot of different opinions there. A lot of people talking about,
I'm be wrong.
Yeah. A lot of different opinions. A lot of people really leaning on Anima. How do you pronounce that? Is it Anima?
Anima.
Anima?
Like,
Anima?
I always thought it was enema. Like,
no, enema is E-N-E.
Yeah,
but
I always thought the A was silent.
It's a mixture of two words. One that means soul, and then enema as in flushing out. So it's kind of like flushing out the soul.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, anima, like animate.
I've never dived into
enema.
Like
There-
the explanations behind Tool. One, because
It's a.
I hate reading,
I just know Latin.
and
so
two,
it's
the
pretty
explanation behind what Maynard and all of them give is just like, it sounds like California bullshit to me. So I'm just like, I don't know, man.
So we're gonna go around the circle. How did we get into Tool?
Don't ask me, I don't fucking remember.
Well then we
You
won't.
were the oldest one. You were there though. Like you were like 8.
What?
You were like, wait, weren't you like? You were like an actual like you. So in '92 or '92 when Opiate came out, me and fucking Travis were 6 years old. You were like 8 or 9, or actually like 10. So you would have a better understanding of this.
I ran out and bought a Tool album.
No, but I'm just
10
saying.
years old.
You had a
10
better,
years
you
old.
had a better chance of getting into.
Dad, can I have $15?
They weren't that.
Or
Like
They were on
every-
tape, damn it.
Like every other millennial, we heard it in about 2000s. Like late 90s, 2000 we finally started hearing it. When we actually
See,
heard it
you
on
know
radio.
when you did when you got into it.
Well, that's when I know I started listening to new metal, and it always popped up because, again, the first 2 albums are always fall into the new metal genre.
Not really.
They always fell
Yeah,
into
but
the
they
thing
did-
because it
they're
couldn't
not
fit
really
nowhere
new
else.
metal,
Because new metal was the catch-all for all these different alt metal sounds.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
And
if you look at it, how they look,
Yeah,
like,
they get put not necessarily in the category, but they get put with the other bands just because that was the
catch-all. It was for anything
they
that
were
wasn't
just
regular hard rock.
I'd never call them a new metal band, but a lot of what they did sort of influence some new metal. For instance, take some Mudvayne shit, some of the more early Mudvayne, we'll say, but like some of the more. Hell, System of a Down maybe, but you could hear Tool's influence on what heavy metal was going to wind up being in the next 5 years. Because at the time, it was just heavy metal or alternative metal. Yeah,
Nobody sounds like
92,
Tool.
93.
Yeah, that college
'Cause
rock.
New metal wasn't even a
pop
term
rock
yet, you know, until closer to the late 90s at least. Because when Korn came out, there was nothing in the world like that, you know, and then
Everything was post-grunge stuff. That's really all you had.
that was just
post-grunge
what the heavy
alternative.
metal was sounding like at the time. But then you had, Deftones right after Korn, and Incubus, and fucking Limp Bizkit coming out, and just right before '98, you could just hear in Tool's early sound what heavy metal was about to become in the grand scheme of things, but not necessarily what Tool was going to wind up becoming.
Tool was kind of like complete. Like I would say,
They took a hard left.
They did. They went a totally they went from this grunge prog, as I like to call it, because it was like the first 2 albums were kind of, they were very grunge, because that's what the first album, Opiate or EP, first album Opiate and Undertow were very grungy. but they had that prog, how prog
I
is
called it
nowadays.
dark rock.
Do it.
I always called it dark rock. It was just this hard. It was like
I
hard
grunge
rock.
prog.
It was like
I
a
think grunge
dark-
prog, like
Grog.
It was post-punk. I always thought it was post-punk, dark, hard rock. Because it's just.
But yeah,
Look,
like
it was
you
always
definitely,
the-
definitely see by like 2001, Lateralis came out, and they were like,
That was the hard left.
that was like, all
Yeah.
right, we don't want to be in this.
The first
this
half of
genre.
Lateralis is like,
they don't
yeah,
want
we
to
don't
be,
wanna
they
be
don't want to be
associated
new metal
with you
or
guys.
near it. So
we
let's
don't
go.
want to be. Yeah, we're gonna go hardcore this way while all of you guys are over here.
Right, and that's what
And-
happened, I think. But yeah,
As the album progressed, went.
so
And then
Josh,
10,000 days goes.
Josh was too high or stoned or drunk or whatever at the time that he found tools. We're just gonna say that because you don't remember, or he's too old.
No,
Either
it
one.
just. It all bled in. The only bands I truly were dedicated to at the time was Korn and System of a Down.
Marilyn Manson and Dope.
Oh, Manson's, yeah, because that's.
That's true.
That really
never
those
got
the mainstream ones was
'Cause
Korn,
it was
System
me
of
too
Down,
at the time,
Manson,
yo.
Slipknot.
Slipknot, yeah.
Because like, all right, with me, when I first got into Tool, it's weird because
Sort of fell in between.
I always knew about Tool around the later half of the '90s. I've always heard about them. And,
MTV always playing
Yeah,
fucking sober
and-
prison sets.
yeah, and I would think those songs were cool, but I know, I didn't buy any of the stuff. And then when Lateralis come out, that's when it was like Tool mania for me, and I was seeing it all over the place. Because in '96, weirdly enough, me and Zach were watching MTV all day, every day, but never really saw Tool shit. And that's around the time Anima came out.
Lateralis
Yeah.
released Schism, so then
Yeah, the
that fucking
Lateralis
video-
dropped, and it was like Tool fucking mania. And so that's when I was like, okay, this is Tool, this is what they sound like. And it still didn't really grasp my attention all that much. And a couple years later, we're hanging out with a few people, and they were big Tool fans, and so I would get a little bit here and there, but I didn't start really buying their shit till mid 2000s, maybe a little while after 10,000 Days came out. And all of them, all the albums of theirs that I have, I actually found at Goodwills and pawn shops, except for 10,000 Days, which I got in the $5 bin at Best Buy, and then the Fear Inoculum copies I have up there. But yeah, everything else has been like secondhand or Goodwills, luckily enough. But yeah, that's really my introduction. But still, it took me a long time to really get it. But we're all different. Well, you
That's about the same story. I think I knew about the song "Sober" and "Prison Sex" because Rock 103 played it when I was in high school, and then
That's all they ever
I think
played.
around when so
until the pot came out.
Well, yeah, they always played the radio short,
right.
friendly songs.
So I never
the
got in
non-proggy stuff.
Yeah, but I never listened to Tool or even got into it until I started hanging out with Mick,
Started doing
my buddy
mushrooms.
Mick, and my brother-in-law now. But at the time, it was just my friend CJ. CJ's a big Tool fan. Like he was a big Tool fan back then. And then I was hanging out with my buddy Kyle Netherland. He's a huge Tool fan. Like me and him got in a debate because I didn't like 10,000 Days at first, right? So 10,000 Days came out in 2006, right? And I was like, this album sucks. Like, and then so me and him fought. Like we were hanging out at the time. We don't talk anymore really. But that's when I remember like, okay, let me go back then and listen to Tool, to their other albums, right? Because I think so. It was probably around 2006 is when 10,000 Days before I even went back and listened to any of the other albums. Like I didn't really listen to them at all in high school. I wasn't into a lot of rock and metal until like 11th grade. Like I didn't listen to it all.
Plus, Tool was pretty good about keeping their shit off Napster.
Yeah, that too.
They were very
Couldn't
good.
steal that
Them and
shit.
Metallica
LimeWire.
were really good with keeping their shit off the fucking anything streaming.
Yeah, so I didn't really dive into them until around 2006, 2007, and then I would listen to them, bought the albums. I have the first 3 albums. I've never bought 10,000 Days, and I'm not buying Fear Inoculum. It's a waste of money. But yeah, so around that time, 2006, it was about the same time frame. It was just one of those bands, like, unless you, like, nowadays, like, everyone's like, oh, yeah, Tool, they'll wear a Tool shirt because they're cheap. And they were like, you know, we'll listen to them nowadays, but back in the day, Tool was an enigma.
Well, Jesus, won't you fucking whistle?
Right?
So, Opium, the very first widely...
Opiate.
Oh yeah, opiate. I don't know, I keep saying
Opium's the
opium.
drug.
Opiate.
Opiate.
Opiate is the thing, not the drug. But Opiate is their first wide EP release, featuring Paul Diamore on bass, Danny Carey on drums, Maynard on vocals, and Adam Jones, guitar player.
I know Maynard.
I saw some of the things where they picked Maynard because they heard him yelling at a neighbor across the thing. He's like, that guy's got a voice, and he picked him or something.
Yeah, something like
I saw
like
something
they
like
were-
that. Like
him
some
and
of
the
the
drummer were neighbors.
Yeah, and he just heard him
Right.
yelling at somebody in the alleyway, and he was like,
he
dude,
was like,
his voice.
well, so I think I remember reading it. So the drummer that was started Tool, right? And then Maynard would show. No one would show up for the audition as vocals. So Maynard stepped in a few times to be vocals. This is what I read on it, and and then it was like downhill from there.
Tools was just one of those kind of like
It
Maynard
just
was
happened.
Maynard
It just
was
happened.
an accident, and then kind of took over.
It's like how that's how all the big bands were. Like even Metallica was. It was just sort of certain people grew up and then it's like shit fell into place. But like Tools, and there's like.
Tool's definitely one of those bands that like.
And
Hey,
why does
man,
it always seem like the bands
They
always
also
start with a
sing?
drummer?
Yeah, they also have a huge history with Green Jello.
Yep.
Also, big history with Green Jello, and they played a lot at the Green Jello Loft, and also I believe it's Maynard and Danny Carey featured on the first Green Jello album. I might be wrong, but yeah, there's a lot of Tool history with early Tool history with Green Jello. Weirdly enough, that's just nobody would. That's a hard to believe kind of thing. That's like it's totally believable. But Opiate has a sound that is more groove metal, not necessarily jumping in the proggy bits yet. Like very, very bass led, drum led. Like the drums are more rock drums. But man, they play the shit so good. It's very Primacy, where like early Primus with Suck on This and Frizzle Fry, that sort of bass and drum characteristic where like they're really playing with each other. It's a little more riffy. It's a little more songy, chorus and verse kind of stuff. But. Huh?
Songy. Well, I mean, it's also like they tried to. I think they tried to stay. I mean, it's just a
Like
thing.
it's probably the easiest, some of the easiest
tried
to
stay
listen to
within
Tool.
They tried to be different, but still stay within the grunge because that's what was big right then. Because Nirvana was like huge at '92.
Yeah, like it's definitely hits on the alternative metal scene. So they're
I still don't see them as metal though. Like I see them as like nowadays, yeah, like they have
grunge
prog
was metal.
I mean, because it was all lumped in with metal.
Metal
Metal
Grunge
and new
is
metal is just a
easily
catch-all.
metal.
It's just a catch-all.
right, but I mean, I think that like
Anything that wasn't country, fucking pop was always just it's metal.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Well,
Everyone
had,
called
they had
everything metal.
downtune, so I guess I mean they like we're just gonna
Like
throw
it
the
was metal, but not like your typical metal.
For that
Especially
age, though, it
yeah,
was definitely different.
Yeah, especially in like '92 when metal was transitioning. You know, we're still in that early transitional period of where people didn't want to be called metal. It was like metal was a dirty word in '92.
It's because they were just getting over hair metal. It's
Yeah,
hard to get
exactly,
over.
exactly. And it was like, but when you listen to shit like grunge, it's very punk and metal, but just moving forward, and it came from another spot, and it was a direct response to the garbage, you know, that had seeped through and flooded the airwaves for a good fucking decade. So yeah, we're still in that transitional period here where this is pretty fucking metal shit, but not like typical metal. It's also where metal was at the time. Like I said, it's very similar to early Primus. Very similar to that.
They fall in a lot to that, with that kind of grouping, I think.
Mm-hmm.
With
And
Primus, which is weird because Primus sounds nothing like them.
I know,
But
there's
that's where you put them. Like you have Primus, you have Tool, you have
like
those,
Faith
that
No
90s,
More,
yeah.
you know, like yeah.
That kind of that's even Primus isn't even a fucking.
Primus
genre.
is
Primus
Tool
is
if you made it
Primus.
happier.
Tool, so,
You
like
take Tool, make it happier and brighter. It's
I mean,
Primus.
Tool's
It's
first
darker.
Yeah, I think Tool's first 2 albums though are like I agree with what's his name, your Facebook friend, where those first 3 albums because I guess the EP, Tool kind of created their own thing. Like nobody sounded like Tool at that time. Tool had very obviously every genre you go into grabs something from something else, but Tool at that time was so a fucking ahead.
Yeah.
In their time.
They meddled. They played their shit based in metal or in heavy music in general.
Right.
But threw in all kinds of shit that nobody else was doing at the time.
I think
it really formed their own identity.
Right.
And so Opiate really has it's got more radio friendly stuff. It's like I said, it's the easiest Tool album to listen to as far as just something to turn on and nod your head or headbang to. The grooves are the shit. I love the way the drums and the bass sound. I also too, we'll talk a little bit about this when we get there, but I think if Paul would have stayed with the band, who knows if they would have gone.
That's probably his.
Yeah, because
like
it's like the moment you get Justin Chancellor, a lot of this, the groovy shit, a lot of this, the more structured shit goes out the fucking window.
Chancellor's a fucking just
And-
insane.
And it just helps that everyone else in the band is as musically eccentric as that. But I think my favorite track on Opiate is obviously Opiate. I love the melody and the Jesus Christ, won't you come save me now? Love the shit out of that. Then when it like breaks into the that crazy freak out, that hippie kind of freak out shit. Little hidden track. Really, really good fucking shit. What about y'all? How y'all feel about Opiate?
Opiate was kind of like over my head. Like it was just like whatever. 7 songs. I like the live shit more than the actual.
The live shit got a little more energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because the crowd, like you feel the crowd in the background, and like I think. That like a lot of live albums are hit and miss for me because there are some live albums where you listen to it and you can barely hear the band and the crowd sucks and it's
or the band just doesn't sound good.
Right,
Yeah,
and the band doesn't sound
good. They have a lot of
good,
post-processing effects. And
yeah,
it
but
doesn't
the
sound good live
songs,
when
the
it's not
songs
done.
on here that are the live songs, I think I liked more because of the energy that was.
Yeah,
through
They
them.
were good because when I was listening to it, it's like to me the first part of it just sounded generic.
Right, and
It
it
just
was
sounded like
really,
generic hard
You're
rock.
talking about being recorded, how they're recorded back then. Like you barely hear Maynard in the first. Like you hear him, but it's kind of like you can definitely tell his vocals weren't brought forward much into that. But the live album, you could hear him better.
Yeah, you do hear him a little better on the live tracks.
So I think the live tracks are pretty much what I enjoyed about the album. But like I said, it's a pass away album or EP for me because it's kind of like I never go back to it.
I mean that's how it was when it came
it
out.
was cool, right? So
when it came out, no one fucking.
Right, and then
it
like
didn't get popular until they allowed streaming, and then people went back and they started listening to it.
Yeah, like it
right,
blew
well,
up
we
when
stole
they
that
put their
shit.
stuff
So
on.
I mean, I'm talking like when LimeWire was big. I LimeWired Opiate, and that was the first time, or not LimeWire. I mean, I guess I kind of LimeWired.
LimeWire, Napster, they're all the same.
I pirated the shit out of that thing.
Oh, we
'Cause
all
you couldn't
pirated.
find Opiate right now. They just re-released it last like 2 years ago. 22, they released
Well,
it.
they didn't re-release it. They
They made
did
a
a 25th
Opiate
anniversary.
Squared.
Yeah,
And they did
Opiate
Opiate
Squared.
Squared song,
They
which sounds
re-recorded
really
it.
fucking good.
Yeah,
I
they
love that.
re-recorded it. They made it longer.
He sounds so much better on it. You can hear him clearly.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, it's. I still got to
it
get
sounds like a
it
completely different song. to
But
me.
I
because it's
remember-
only on like Blu-ray. I got to get it because it's a music video for the song but like it's one of my favorite tracks on
I
there.
think I found Opiate at Goodwill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where because I
Probably.
have it in a case somewhere in my garage, but I don't use CDs anymore because my car doesn't have one. So
Yeah. What about you, Josh? Opiate, man.
And I said it was generic to me.
It's pass away.
It was a very pass, except for like when it got to the live songs. I thought I was listening to another album.
Damn.
It really did. It just sounded the live songs sound completely different than the rest of the album. It
Yeah, I
just sounded like generic, dark, hard. I would call it
if their
dark, hard
EP
rock. It was
was live, like the entire EP, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
or if it was clear. So like if they would not remaster but re-record the whole album, might have a better opinion about it. But then all they did was they re-recorded Opiate and changed it a little bit. I think they made it longer. They changed
made it
the
longer,
structure,
and
added some
they
more
added
to it.
they added the stuff that
They
they
tooled
normally
it to
do
this
live.
time frame.
Yeah, they made it like current Tool.
Right.
If they did that to the whole album, that would probably be really good.
That would be pretty cool. But they did mention that the next album that they're toying with the idea of going back to the more Undertow-esque,
I hope so. I would
stuff.
probably love that.
a little
Undertow's my
more just
favorite one.
heavier edge kind of stuff, less.
Just like I said, my favorite songs out of it is going to be Right in 2. Love that fucking song. Of course, everyone's sober. Prison Sex. Pot.
It's basically every song that's
Every
come
song
on
that
the
they
radio.
play on the radio. But I love like Right
He's the
in
one that
2.
turns it up. He's like, yeah, it's finally being played.
And Enema's great.
Yeah, Enema's.
Enema.
I like Enema's
Right
probably
in
one of
2.
my favorite lyrically,
Oh, it's fucking
just
awesome.
because how dark it is. Like I don't know, and it just catches up. For
Learn to swim.
But anyway,
See you
we'll
at
get there.
Arizona Bay.
We'll get there. We'll have to.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on Opiate?
I like it. I like it a lot. It's never a go-to. In fact, but I was pleasantly surprised when I turned it back on, because mostly I just remember the track Opiate, because like that one's the melody is very memorable and the lyrics are very memorable, and it's the one that lyrically it sticks out the most. It's about just this Christian shit, all these liars and shit, and the Christian fucking anyway. But it's the only thing I mostly remember off of it. When I turned it on, I was really getting into the grooves and the way the drums and the bass played. It reminded me of the early Primus before they got weird. Weirdly enough, both bands started off like just some good groove and funky kind of metal, and then got weird as fuck.
Right. To me, like also you think about it, like to me, my favorite album is Undertow, right? Which was also when Primus released Pork Soda.
Yeah,
So, and that's my favorite album of Primus too.
that is up there, man, for real.
So,
Like,
I mean, I just think there's a lot of good albums that came out when Undertow came out
yeah,
too.
it fucking did. Like '93 was a hell of a year.
It really was. That was a good year to have music.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't hear it until I was older because, like I said, I wasn't into rock music until high school. Well, I mean, a little bit of middle school, but not much.
Yeah, see, me and Zach were diving all into Primus when Pork Soda came out because of our
Yeah, I
dad.
was thinking your dad.
Well,
he
my
he
parents,
loved all
yeah,
that
my
kind of
dad,
stuff.
my dad was.
You
in
had
the
parents
70s.
dad that actually listened to stuff. My
And
parents was like
Evan's-
classic rock,
yeah,
and country.
Right.
So I never
me
got
and
to
Josh,
listen.
my mom was a big country fan. My dad was all classic 80s and 70s.
The hardest thing I
rock.
ever got was my dad like, here, he bought me Load for
Damn.
my birthday. I was like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, you got more than me. My dad didn't. I didn't know what Metallica was till high school, and like my first heavy album was Aerosmith's,
Well,
which came out the same time Undertow did.
No.
I looked it up. I was like,
my
holy
first
shit.
album, the first album my parents ever got me was it Van Halen Jump? Who?
Wow.
Yeah.
That wasn't so bad.
Mine was.
I
the
didn't even have a
one-
record player,
was the Aerosmith. The heaviest album I had as a kid was Aerosmith, the one with Crazy on it.
Okay, yeah,
With the
yeah.
cowl on the front.
Yeah. Get a grip, I think it's
Yeah,
called.
that one. So that was my first heavy album,
Yeah,
right?
growing up,
because I was
Hard rock to
yeah.
us was like, oh, Bon Jovi, you too. Like, oh, this is hard.
Right.
Like, or maybe occasionally get some Black Sabbath because it'd be on the classic
yeah,
rock.
okay,
but-
yeah.
Like,
So,
oh man, you heard that song Iron Man?
or Boston,
Oh,
Boston, and
Right, yeah.
Kansas. That's what I grew up with. I grew up with like Boston, Kansas, Chicago, like all those like arena.
It wasn't until
rock
high
bands.
school when I actually got my Cradle of Filth. What's this?
Yeah.
This is
I heard
amazing.
You're listening
My-
to it, you feel like it's forbidden.
Right,
You know,
my
like-
first the heaviest band I heard ever, like first time, was 6 Feet Under. Like some dude at my Christian church camp we went to, we were on the bus and he's like, "Hey dude, you want to check this out?" And it's like a mix CD, right, of just a bunch of death metal bands. The first album it had like 6 Feet Under on there, and I heard, I was like,
Yeah,
"What the
I
fuck
think
is that?"
I think my first death metal I've ever heard was 6 Feet Under.
Right,
Me
like
too.
that's what I'm saying.
That
Like,
was,
That and anal cunt.
well, yeah,
And
anal cunt.
blast. Because our uncle had burned
Tampon
us a CD.
teabag.
Yeah. Burned us a CD with a bunch of anal blast, a bunch of anal cunt, and some typo negative when we were like,
Anal blast.
maybe 12, 13, maybe 13
yeah,
years
I think
old.
I was like 13, 14 when I first heard like real death.
And
metal,
I was like,
metal.
this shit sucks,
Pig
but I love it.
Destroyer, you know.
But yeah, me and Zach were like, our dad was into Primus and all that kind of stuff, and our mom was big into the grunge stuff. So we were very much aware of the popular music scene in the early '90s. Zach and I were, and so we kind of just got lucky. But then at the same time, I didn't start following a lot of motherfuckers till later on. But I want a cigarette. And we'll be back with Undertow. All right, what up, everybody? We're back. And next we have Undertow. This is the moment like the world found out about Tool.
Yeah.
It's what, 1993?
Yep, 93.
Mine is so old. The parental advisory sticker just like fell off.
What? Oh yeah, it wasn't until mid to late '90s when it became mandatory
Yeah,
to
like
put
that's
on
an
the printed
original
on.
release right there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I still have.
Back when you could buy it at Walmart and they just put the sticker on the thing.
Yeah, mine has the black tray with the cow licking its vagina in the back. You gotta pop the tray out.
oh shit, I never seen that.
Yeah, cow
That's
licking
funny.
its
Yeah,
vagina.
How do you find out about that? Like nobody, like Maynard doesn't come out and just say, "Hey, by the way, you should see this."
Check
Right?
out
So
the cow.
somebody's in there like pulling shit apart, and they're like, "By the way, did you know that if you look at the back area of
Dude.
this?"
Well, the whole thing also, if you hold that fucking cover up,
Yeah.
and put light behind it, you can actually see there's a hidden image in it.
Yeah, so check this
See,
out.
I mean, like that's one thing.
That's
I
something
love
you wouldn't
about-
have known if you just fucking happened to
Right, and like that's one thing I love about Tool, with
So
at least
you
their
got-
earlier
You
shit.
got
I don't
this
know-
rib cage kind of thing, right?
Right. I love that they fuck with
And
shit
here
like
you've
that.
got the obese lady. You hold it up to the light. The obese lady is within the rib cage.
That's pretty cool.
I know, right? That's crazy. You gotta get some.
Not a
like-
very good
yeah,
light.
you gotta
It's
get
very good, like that one. Use that one. That one's the brighter one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right there.
Yeah.
Really cool shit.
Only when you're missing is when they came out with the censored version.
Yeah, the little censored album cover version that was just a barcode, and there was
Message from them.
a message saying if you want the correct lyrical book, just send us your address and we'll send it to you. But yeah, so this is the first full album and last full album to feature Paul Diamore on bass. And it does still have a lot more of the groovy metal kind of stuff.
Grunge bro.
Yeah, you hear grunge prog. Just real.
Raw. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
like.
is.
This is my favorite one.
God, it's such a raw ass fucking album, and all the songs are pretty long too. I mean, there ain't many. There's 6 hitting on 7/5 with Flood. And then 15 minutes for Disgustipated, but that has the little hidden track thing in there.
About the carrots.
Yeah, the cry of the carrots.
Cry of the carrots. Oh man, that fucking.
That is so cool.
Oh, and I said, Reverend Maynard.
These are the cries of carrots.
These are the cries of the carrots.
For tomorrow is harvest day. Fucking love the shit out of that in life. Feeds on life. Feeds on life.
I love that. This is my, like I said, this is my favorite fucking Tool album. I mean, I've always.
Be my second favorite.
No, I mean, I think this one's, because it's so raw, because it's before they go, it's like, Enema, you can see where they're getting a lot more, they have a lot more proggy songs start coming, like they have at least 3 songs, like what, there's like 2 or 3 songs that are 10 minutes long.
Every album after this
They get long.
pushes the boundary of what is acceptable for album length and song
Right.
length.
And, I mean,
And people have been doing that for years, but in the 90s, nobody was fucking doing that.
yeah, like
Like-
nobody was dropping 10 songs left and right.
Yeah.
But like with Undertow though, like every song, I mean, there's not a bad song on that album. There's not one song I skip on it. And it's a lot of their popular songs. Like it's a lot of the ones that you always hear on the radio as well. I mean, because it's their shorter songs probably. But like
Because this is the least proggy of
it's
them all.
right. It is
It's
the least.
actually
It's
more
the
just
least
a fucking
proggy. It's the
hard-
most hard
hard
grunge
rock,
rock.
yeah.
Like just. You know, and I like it because I love how they have that grunge sound because it's still, you know, 93. You know, the grunge is still a huge thing in 93. But they did something different. It is ahead of its time at this time. Like you think
Yeah,
about
it is pretty ahead of its
1993, nothing
Nothing sounded like
this.
this.
And it was something that you would hear in 2000. Right? Like the 2000s era like you would hear something like this then. This is like, what, 7 years ahead of its time, or 10 years, and they've never, I think time finally caught up with them by their last 2 albums. I think that's what happened. Like with 10,000 Days, time's finally caught up, and they kind of just mellowed up, like there, right? We're here in the
At
time.
that time, they're just doing the Tool thing.
Right, but like the early, like I said, the first 3 albums though, it's new. It is.
Because this is
Experimental.
Everything
But-
else was, they already know what they were doing.
It's
They knew what they
experimental,
wanted.
but it's still it works for what was happening in that time. I mean, Nirvana had Utopia that just came out as
In
well,
Utero.
or In Utero, whatever it's called.
Yeah, 93 was a great fucking year, man. 'Cause
Right.
you had
Pork Soda
Because even
and-
two, In Utero is a weird fucking album. Like 93 is like peak fucking grunge.
Melvin's
Uh,
the new album,
right, like-
like a whole bunch of fucking bands.
Everyone was dropping like their top tier shit around 93ish, 94ish, man. Man, but yeah, this you're totally correct, man. This album is way ahead of its time.
And it's still a fucking banger. Like it fits so well today, though. Like even with some of the
it's
songs,
timeless.
right? It
It's
really
straight
is a
up
timeless fucking album. To me.
AMC
And
Timeless Classic.
it is the one Tool album I can go back to and probably never get disappointed in listening to it. And I enjoy every song on there. Like I enjoy listening to even the longer songs. I enjoy it. They flow so well. There's nothing that gets stagnant or boring in their long songs on this album. You know, it was pretty much to me a perfect Tool album.
This is what we call foreshadowing. Why he doesn't like Fear Inoculum, because it's extremely long sections of repeating the same thing. And I will agree with you on that. It's like
Boring album.
it's a joke. Doom, 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 doom,
like-
doom, 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 doom,
But it's like
8
4
minutes?
minutes of the same. Well, we'll get there.
8 minutes?
We'll get there.
The bars, they
Let's
repeat
not
the
start
same
it.
bars for fucking ever, then add another piece, and do.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Undertow. We gotta pull it back.
So that's why you can tell his like scale is going to be just a arrow going this way.
As I've told Travis,
He likes it more down here. He likes these ones, and it keeps going as the proggy and length goes this way. His
Which
enjoyment
is-
goes
which
this
is crazy
way.
though, because I like prog a lot more nowadays than I did, 10 years ago. Travis, because you know me forever, so you know where I've come from as a musician.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say.
Their prog is
Fear
different.
Inoculum
Prog.
is better still than a lot of the more recent prog metal albums.
This is
I've
true
heard.
because they actually still stay prog. A lot of the albums are now just jet crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all chinned. Everything's chinned.
Everything has to have that
Like this-
gentiness. And
Fear Inoculum is
Tool-
still better
And it
than the
didn't have
last
Jet.
3 Haken albums. But I will say
It hurts.
I do like Between the Buried and Me's Colors 2 better than Fear Inoculum as a prog metal album. But Fear Inoculum is better than Between the Buried and Me's Automata 1 and 2.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Undertow is, like we said, way ahead of its time. Nothing in the world, and that was a great thing about the early '90s. Yeah, as far as rock music went, like
So
people
That was an
were,
evolution.
yeah, people were evolving what you believe you could get away with and shit. And at that time, it could only happen in the '90s. You had weird shit like Ween being played on the radio, which that would never be acceptable
I mean,
today.
it's just like how grunge was the difference from the fucking what it used to be before then, and this is an evolution of another
And
style.
when
It just
Korn-
decided
The
to change.
'90s evolved a lot of music. Though.
Yeah, when
like,
Korn
and nowadays
dropped-
it's stagnant again. But
When Korn dropped their first album, that to me, I will still say is, at the time that came out,
That
there
was
was
the 90s
nothing
new metal to
as
me.
fucking
That-
heavy. There was nothing that sounded like that first Korn album. There was nothing as heavy as that
Uniqueness to
first
it.
fucking Korn album.
Just like they always say, the heaviest thing we've done in a long time is coming out. No, it's not. Because your coolest
Yeah.
shit wasn't so much it was
that we've
heaviest,
done in
it was
years.
also
No,
unique.
you gotta get it right. It's the heaviest thing we've done in years.
But it's also, the shit's just not, it's a whole my problems like how Tool is, their shit is unique. All their albums have a unique sound to it. Korn
It's no
was
longer
unique in the
angsty.
beginning. At the beginning, their shit was so unique. Their style was unique. Then it just became
They peaked
generic
real
new metal.
early.
They peaked.
They peaked real
Right, and
early.
the
About
angstiness is
Untouchables,
gone.
fucking, take a look
They're
in the
old
mirror.
guys. They're a bunch of old 40, 50-year-old guys now who are just like, the angstiness is gone. That
Yeah, and like with Maynard, you could sing about crystal hippie shit for the rest of your life.
right? And
You know?
If you listen to the lyrics, it's just random
Maynard
wackiness.
writes
It
douchey
really
shit.
is.
So
You could
really
sing
random.
about third eye shit for the rest of your life, and you don't got to
Korn
worry
can't sing about fucking being molested or having, the kids. It's about the
Right.
kids anymore because, well, you're an old dude now.
right, he's an old dude, and like the stuff
you're in
that
your
Korn
40s and still
used
sing
to-
about teenage
used to
love.
do- the shit that Korn used to do though, like and used to sing about and used to play for.
It spoke to us because we were kids and we were like, we're the kids. We're like,
Right.
And now we're all the adults.
They
Like,
haven't
don't work no
matured.
more.
They've gone the wrong way in maturing their sound. I think.
Yeah, they need to go back to that fucking
do.
really fucking twingy,
They
just
need
that
to do
weird.
drugs again, and people need to die. Just saying. That's the good
Somebody
part.
touch
Somebody go
him in an inappropriate
One
manner.
pee-pee
Make
touch,
him-
that's all
give
we
him a
ask
pee-pee
for.
touch.
Yeah, not a
Tickle a starfish. Come on.
Pickle a starfish. Give him a little chocolate. I mean, look at fucking Fred Durst. He fucking dropped an album.
Fred
and
Durst
he
is
leaned
fucking living the
into
best
it.
life. He
Yeah,
is
He
leaning
leaned
into
into
it.
it, man.
that dad rock
That
shit.
dad vibe.
That
oh
album's
my
so
God, that's
good.
fucking so
It
good.
that
was-
new Limp Bizkit album still sucks. Is much better than like the
Korn's
last
last four
10
albums.
Korn albums.
It was so bad. It was so good though.
This is still
Undertow,
relevant because we're
go
talking
ahead,
about how
sorry.
much
we know my
Yeah.
opinion on it. Sorry.
Undertow
Same.
is not a bad song on there, but it's still very much fairly structured. Not as wild as they'll eventually get to, but wilder than a lot of other stuff happening in the mainstream at the time. And which I think is the appeal of it, because it didn't sound like your Nirvanas, it didn't sound like your Soundgardens and Pearl Jams, and at the time those guys were all experimenting and getting slightly weird too, but they didn't go this far. Tool pushed the fucking envelope with Undertow, and Undertow walked so Lateralis could run.
I don't know. To me, the Lateralis is more a good strong jog because it starts off and then goes like this, and then 10,000 Days goes.
It's a fantastic album, and weirdly enough, it's not one I go to all that much. But when I was listening to it the other day, I was like, man, this shit is good
So
as
good.
fuck.
It is fucking
Oh,
great. It's a great album.
shit. Yeah, all the way. What
Yeah.
about you, man?
That's what I agreed already with David. I mean, it's just the same thing. It's just or in kind of like between both y'all because I like it. I mean, because I love their radio songs. I love fucking Prison Sex. I love Sober.
You
The
love
music video for
Prison
fucking
Sex.
Sober. Yes, I love Prison Sex.
Nah, keep going. Keep
It's-
going.
It's
Starfish touch.
it's the sex you get, but it's not the sex you want.
Damn.
That's called a retirement plan. You get old, you get sick, go commit a robbery, go to jail. You get sex you don't want, but you get sex still, and you get health
See,
care.
I always like. There's a lot of songs on here though.
3
that
squares and a cot.
I enjoy.
And a cock too.
Like you're right, like there are the radio songs, but the ones on here that aren't radio songs, like Crawl Away and Undertow itself, I love that song. Like Undertow, that is such a fucking heavy rock.
Pretty much
song.
all of their title
There's not a bad
tracks on all their
song on
albums are
here.
some of the best songs.
Yeah, I mean, but
Title
Flood,
tracks.
Flood's another one I've heard 1,000 times, never get tired of it.
But I kind of agree with Travis on it. It's still spelled. You know, if that was the only album they had, yeah, that'd be their best one because it was unique enough compared to everything else because it doesn't fit like in the nu metal hard rock genre. Like I said, it's kind of a post dark grunge hard rock with like longer
It's raw,
songs.
though, like,
and
there's-
it's raw, but it's still kind of.
I like it because the recording is just good enough.
It just sounded like somebody recorded it in a crappy studio.
Right, but
Yeah, it's like what I like is like the production doesn't sound amazing, but
Sounds
it
unique.
sounds amazing
It's
for the limitations they more than likely had at the time of recording.
right, and like it gives you that feeling of there's a strength behind it. Right there's that. Like I said, I keep going back to the song, to the raw feeling that you get. Like
More of an
it's just-
experimental.
Right, and it's something.
You're
They
learning
came
it,
out
they're
with
trying
this
to figure out
album,
new
and they're
stuff.
like, we're gonna fucking drop something that no one else is doing right now, and it still fucking hits. Like it's still fucking hard. It's heavy. It grooves so well, and you hear every part in it. Like even with Maynard's vocals are still just like Opiate in the background a little bit, but they're more forward in this one, and I think that it carries very well through the entire album as one whole. And there's not a boring song on there that doesn't just prog out. You know, when you start getting into Enema, when they have more money now, you can definitely tell that the production's a lot better in that. And because of that, though, to me, I don't get the same feel that I got from the Undertow. So, which is why every time they release a new album, it's just like, I'm really worried though, because of if they come out with another album, is it going to be worse than Fear Inoculum? Because it just keeps getting worse for me. Like, not in a bad way. Like, I still like most of their albums. If you go from start to finish, it's pretty much how they release an album is how much I like each Tool album. It just keeps getting worse for me.
His is like, okay, he likes this one to start, and his
It just keeps
enthusiasm
going down.
goes down, while
I'm like, come on!
their experimentalism and their progness keeps going this way. It kind of has an intersection, which you think right about there in the middle is where you'd really
Their
like,
middle
which
one
would
is
have been
Lateralis
Lateralis.
to me. Like, Lateralis is the middle one. It's like,
you can hear
it has the good...
The first half of the album
Undertow
is kind
stuff.
of more Undertow, and the last half of it is more like 10,000 Days. So
Right.
it's where it kind of just takes
Nothing's
off.
like it Fear Inoculum. Just like, you know.
Fear Inoculum is just, they fully leaned into it.
Right. They just...
You never go full prog, man.
They went
You never
full
go full prog.
They went full prog. They went
Man,
full
it's like-
retard.
You know, like, what, very Alice in Chains looking album cover.
And that was what I mean.
System of Down looking.
The time frame. See, now you can't say System of Down looking because System of Down would be Tool looking because they came out way after.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
you got to
like-
put Tool first.
To me, the album it's okay. I just like really their main songs on it, but
And this is coming from a dude who's had many times on this show before. He doesn't really like prog metal.
I don't like prog rock because
Yep.
to me I get bored because like that's one of the reasons I kind of agree with David on the Fear Inoculum. They got these sections just so damn long, and it's just like
Way too long.
it's just it's orchestral. It's just instrument.
It's
instrumental,
yeah.
and it's one thing if it's instrumental with lots of things filling it and going on, but sometimes it's just a jump. Or it's like if you take a fucking if you take metal and you give a fucking breakdown and you make the breakdown fucking 3 minutes
what they
fucking
call it,
long.
the world.
This man just said world music. I remember when Fear Inoculum first dropped, there was people commenting on the Tool page saying shit like, I wanted a Tool album, not fucking Pure Moods.
Right. It's those albums you go into Walmart where there's like a $5 section where it's all like
you push the
like
button and
Africa music
Yeah.
or China.
all your crystal hippie music.
And they have songs that are like that on them. They do have like the fucking chanting
Tool
songs.
is known for using the fucking sitar and the fucking
Tool is
Tribal
heavy metal.
chanting.
Tool is heavy metal in you.
But yeah, so
Heavy
I'm
metal,
sorry.
fucking, I forgot the lady's name. She did the Mumner's dance. But yeah, Undertow is the shit. And then another thing about Tool is their packaging gets wildly
Yeah, it gets weird.
crazy with each release. There was the cool little hidden features on Undertow, but a lot of people kind of do that shit. But when you get to Anima, that's when you get the
fucking cool little
awesome-
fucking.
the lenticular cover, and you move it, and the eyeballs move.
And then the dude.
What's more, you got some guy
trying to
suck his own wiener
Autofellatio.
there.
Is that Manson?
No.
You heard that shit?
I remember reading about the story about that fucking guy in that picture.
Right.
But what's
There's another one in
cool
there.
is the
So,
yeah, you know,
There's-
they're meant to be, you know, broken away because
you don't
can-
ever want to though.
Yeah, I've
It happens
I've found
opening
this,
and closing causes a break.
Yeah, you know, but so I'm not worried about them, you know, breaking away. But you have other little things you could use as an album cover. So you have
Are you missing one?
the eyeballs be turning.
Because there was one where it's got the guy sitting on it and the band on the side watching him.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah, this one's off. I think. Yeah, because this one's venticular too. Also.
Yeah, you can tell
I
by
knew,
the
I was
weird
like,
little.
I was like, you're missing one. I go, okay, yeah, 'cause that's the one you can he's doing the head bob.
He's sucking his dick and
And
they're
they're watching
watching.
him.
But yeah, and then,
It's not very good.
1996.
And,
Nickelodeon.
oh, is Dan Snyder back there?
Ah! That's terrible.
But you also got a picture of Bill Hicks as a doctor right here, a comedian who sadly passed away before this album came out. Bill Hicks was a big fan of Tool, and Tool loved Bill Hicks because they thought that he was on their same level. Bill Hicks, his stand-up show does mention a lot of that kind of stuff about how everything's vibrations and all this kind of stuff. Just crystal hippie kind of shit. But Bill Hicks was real funny with it. And then even the track, God, I gotta pull up my phone for the track list because it's not listed on the album. Go to the Tool, man. Is it Third Eye? No, it's not Third Eye.
You hear me?
Oh, that's Enema. That's my favorite song on that album.
Yeah.
It might.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
a good one. But Anima's the closest one to Undertow, I think. That song. So,
Oh, you like the Ion where it's just the electrical storm one. 646.
Yeah.
The Third Eye is what, 13 minutes? 12 minutes? That was a long ass song.
Where is this goddamn song? Or is it Push It?
We'll find it.
Oh yeah, the venticular with California disappearing into the ocean.
Yeah.
Surprised that hadn't happened yet.
Prodigy of Godsend.
Oh my god.
It's one of those songs.
Do that little 8-bit do.
I love that lead in though. That little intro or what is the intermission sounds from the old video game timing,
Yeah.
and then right into that. It slows down and it's.
I am trying to find the goddamn Bill Hicks shit. God damn it.
Google.
Yeah. On Third Eye. Yeah, Third Eye. So I guess it's about halfway on the song. Is it anything Sorry, y'all.
Anyway.
Anyway, what is? It's when he starts talking about, you know, hey man, if you don't care, if you don't think drugs have made any good things, man.
Oh, with the comedy sketch.
Yeah,
oh, that's
take all your albums and
That's at the
songs.
beginning of the song.
That's the beginning of the That's the beginning of the song. It's after Enema. It's the one right after Enema.
Is it really? Because they got him listed as a sample on Third Eye. So the one after Enema.
Yeah, it was like the beginning of the song.
Is it Ions? With the-
No, Ions
No.
is just an instrumental of the electricity sound.
The next song.
It's the next one. Go to the next song.
Yeah, so yeah, Third Eye.
Listen to it for a second.
Yeah, it's the very, very beginning of it.
Yeah.
You gotta give it a second. It has to get through the little.
Is it playing?
See, I think
There it is.
good things for us. I really do.
That's what I said. I was like, that's
Yeah,
what
so
like
that's Bill
the
Hicks.
song. I was like, you were looking through everything else but
I trying to remember
that.
what you were talking about. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
comedy little part.
But yeah, so yeah, Bill Hicks sadly
Sure.
passed away right before that, and if you're a Bill Hicks fan, you know Dennis Leary stole a lot of his jokes. But man, so packaging got massively cooler.
That also became very
It is
common.
probably like that.
It was a
Yeah.
very common thing going on.
Yeah, there's a
at the
lot
time.
of bands that still do
Start doing
this
it.
kind of shit with the lenticular covers and
Although
all
not
that.
as often as you think anymore,
Yeah,
especially with
not
like,
as
and
long.
especially with fucking inserts. They don't even do that shit no more. You very rarely get a book. The stuff you used to be able to go sit on the crapper
You
and
get a picture on the front, you turn it over, and it gives like Warner Brothers or some
Yeah.
shit.
I'm glad Tool still care about, you know, intricate fucking packaging and shit, because nobody else
prices
does.
stayed the same, but you got less
Um,
shit.
Right.
And so,
Not as cool as it used to be. CDs
You used to be able to get a new album, go home, get on the crapper, and you're sitting there taking a dump and just reading the book.
this is when we first get Justin Chancellor on bass, and just something here changed.
the bass.
It's less
Smart ass.
it's less groove based, and this is where Danny Carey really starts to play with the more tribal-y kind of beats and shit. Things get weirder.
Toms.
A lot of just Tommy kind of like tom hits and just real tribally fucking just
the timing
primitive.
is a lot different.
Yeah, a lot
It's
of the
all
time
over.
signatures get a lot crazier here. This is the moment where they really start to embrace more interesting songwriting techniques and fucking.
I think
man.
the drums for this album did it for me. Like I think that this is the reason why this album is unique. Like Maynard does Maynard as usual, but like the guitars and bass, you know, we've heard other bands do similar guitar and bass stuff, but the drums were so new at that time, like to that effect. Like how he does his drums, I think the drums is what made this album different and better than a lot of other stuff that's out this time.
Yeah, so what is this, 96?
96, yeah.
So this is when grunge was starting to wind down, but we still had great albums drop from like Stone Temple Pilots, and my favorite Soundgarden album of all time
Korn is
dropped.
now out, so
Yeah, Korn's out and Deftones are out, so new metal is just now starting to peak out a little bit. Korn has dropped their second album, Life is Peachy, and so 96 was also a big year. We're still riding the wave of Jagged Little Pill, Melancholy, and the Infinite Sadness. You know, so we're still riding those waves. So yeah, like a lot of cool shit's happening now.
we started getting what, No Doubt?
Yeah,
Bush,
yeah, we started
all
to.
them, that
yeah.
kind of grunge brand.
Yeah,
bands.
Bush is still
Soundgarden's
around.
blowing up even more now.
And yeah, this is like you're starting to see that third wave ska punk kind of shit coming through, which will start to dominate coming around '97. But no, yeah, we're riding that wave of No Doubt dropping Tragic Kingdom. So like that shit's all over MTV at the time, and
That before she was the hollaback girl.
yeah,
She was
Spider
like every guy's
Webs
like, oh, she's fucking gorgeous.
Don't
awesome.
Speak, and I'm
No
Just a
Doubt.
Girl, and
Ska.
so Tool drops this, and it's like, again, the weirdest shit on the radio. And man, to me, this is a massive step above Undertow, as far as like just awesome,
Recording-wise,
yeah,
I think.
recording-wise, production, the sound of the instruments, the use of different kind of instruments. I mean, like Stinkfist, Eulogy, AH, Useful Idiot, 46 and 2, one of the most recognizable kind of things. You get like a very from here on out, there's just all kinds of these sort of like just, what do you call it? Like just kind of Indian kind of Hindi sort of music kind of shit. Yeah, it shit gets real worldly. Then you get Hooker with a Penis. Apparently the song Jimmy is the sequel to Prison Sex. Yeah. And man, and 15 tracks. But what's interesting here is you get weird little interludes, and this is another thing that Tool. This album is a big first for a lot of shit when it comes to Tool. Justin Chancellor, a lot of the more tribal-esque beats, a lot of the more psychedelic and trance kind of style stuff. The more weird time signatures, much longer songs. But another thing this album does that they continue on from here on out, shorter little interlude tracks and then a much longer track. So the album starts with 5 minutes and 10 seconds with Stinkfist, then you get the almost 9 minute long Eulogy, then the 6 minute long H, then you have Useful Idiot, which is a 38-second thing, and then boom, another 6 minute song, then another minute 50 with Message to Harry Manback, then a 4 minute song, and then an intermission, then Jimmy, then The Ire of Unsatan, then another almost 10 minute song with Push It. Fucking, I can't read this.
Which one?
Number 12.
Cicero's Some Ability.
That's what that is?
Yes.
Yeah, about a minute and a half, and then almost 7 minutes, so, and then finally it all culminates to Third Eye, which is almost 14 minutes.
Yeah, but like the last, 2 minutes of it, or 3 minutes, is it like the last 2 or 3 minutes of it? Is it that one? No, wait, it might have been Lateralis. Which one had the fucking dude that was like, I'm at Area 51?
Oh yeah!
Wasn't it that one? Enema?
That was on Lateralis.
Oh,
I can't
Lateralis.
wait to get to that. Dude, that's some real shit.
I think that, Tool's older stuff to me, like their more proggy stuff, had, again, like I said, the reason why I don't like Fear Inoculum is because of how samey each song tends to sound. It just gets boring. But like their early stuff though, with Lateralis and Enema, where you have their long 8 minute, 13 minute songs or whatever, they went everywhere with it. They didn't just stick to a certain one tone kind of thing. It's very, the last one was very tonal. This one isn't.
And then the thing too I like about the earlier Tool is it would be heavy, it would be soft, it would be sludgy, it would be slow, it would be all over the place, very well balanced.
Right.
And I like Maynard's vocals because when you listen to this, you're expecting harsher vocals, and for the most part, he's a very soft-spoken kind of singer. It's very, very soft singing, and then little bursts of aggression here and there. Maybe a scream or a shout vocal every once in a while, but nothing ever too aggressive. but so much personality and so much memorability.
He adds a lot of distortion, I think, to a lot of his like heavier stuff that he does. Like you can definitely tell it's
Like on Third Eye with the ah!
There's definitely a distortion though, like added into that. Like it's not all him being like that. And
Yeah, there's effects definitely. You hear effects on his vocals, but you know all singers do
But
that.
yeah,
anyway, but-
he knows how to use his vocals as
Yeah.
an instrument, and that's the thing. Like he, again, like I mean, I keep going back to the news. I can't help but to compare and contrast because of it's new, right, to old, right. So it's hard to go to not say, okay, listen to what they used to do and then now. You know, so the best way to see it is as look at this how you did it back in 1996, and then 20-something years later you just got boring and long driven out and just like you lost all like connectivity to anybody
So
that grew
harsh,
up with you.
David.
I am. I'm just like, I can't help it.
I mean, it still sounds like Tool. It's just the songs are much longer.
But even you have like a debate to like the fact that like they're so long. Like yeah, once you get if you cut out the beginning 3 minutes of every song,
Oh,
in there, like I said on our video, you would have good album. You would have a straightforward like hour
There
of an
is
album.
some
Not-
of these-
you have 30
Yeah.
minutes of just fucking laytime. That's of world fucking jungle music. That's all it is.
There is something to be
30
said that they
minutes
could
could've
probably
been
cut
cut out
half
of
the
this
songs
album.
out of it.
Out of fear not. Look, we'll get to there. I can't help myself. It just how much I did.
I think Enema is a motherfucking triumph. And
It
the
was.
moment that brought a lot of what Tool would stick around with for the rest of their career. And man, when it came out, again, like I said, still the weirdest shit on the radio.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic album.
It
all
is.
the way
It
through,
really
man.
is.
To me, it's my favorite album. I really love that one because
Right. And I can see
later
where-
ones come out because this one is just the songs are just experimental and proggy enough to where they're not boring because each one is like it builds up. It has a swell in each song. It's do do do
Right,
do,
and
do,
they
do,
still
do.
got
It
that
just gets bigger and bigger.
grunginess that they had in
But it's
Undertow.
still dark and that
It's
post
still-
grunge
right,
sound,
and so I like
and
it.
not full on experimental
Right.
prog rock.
And we would, there's different reasons behind Undertow being my favorite than this one, but I would say like this is a fantastic album. Enema had so many great songs on it. There's not, again, other than the little intros, little short tracks and stuff that I do skip on. Like I can't stand to hear Ions at all.
That is a
It is annoying. You can
I
hear
like
I listen to
hearing
it once,
that.
thing is,
and it's cool because it is a binaural song. So if you put if you listen with earphones
Right,
in
but
both, it's
If
going
you
to
come
cost.
back to it, then if
See,
you
the
come
thing
back to
is-
it, you're like,
is-
I skip.
Yeah, I
it's
skipped it
there,
every time
it's there for
afterwards.
a reason. You can skip it if you want, but it's there for a reason.
Because they got
It's-
a lot of songs. that are just
Everything
like that, just random
is
noise.
there for a reason. It's meant to be heard as a whole. But if you choose, you can cherry pick bits and pieces here. But it should always, at least once, be heard.
At least once.
Oh yeah.
Like, if I haven't heard it,
But
like,
it may
I
be
didn't
from
hear-
fucking tripping balls,
Right,
maybe
and
great
I haven't
listening.
heard it in like in like
being
20 years.
stoned and just hearing.
Oh yeah, doing mushrooms. Oh, that shit was
I don't know about
fucking Tool.
that. I never did mushrooms on that.
Oh,
On
man,
Tool,
yeah,
I've done them, but no.
I did. It's fucking awesome.
It was Stained, I think I listened.
And then you
Stained
close your
and Red Hot
eyes,
Chili Peppers I was on when I was.
Oh wow, that's
That wrong
That was a
decision.
waste. That was a
Well,
waste.
no, it was okay. So it was their first. It was Stained's first album. So
It's not the fact that
Shovel-
you were doing mushrooms that is bad. The
Mushrooms
fact
good.
that you were listening to Stained.
and Red Hot Chili Peppers was involved. I didn't have control of the music though. I was at a friend's house.
Damn. I said, dude, can we please?
Something else.
It was at somebody else's house.
You should listen to drug tripping music. System of a Down's a good one for doing drugs.
That was
It's
on
very
there.
drug
It was
trippy.
just
See, that's fine.
some dude had it playing. And it was just mixed. Like I said, this is like 2005, 2006 time frame.
You're on
No, it's like
mushrooms, you close your
2005.
eyes, you just see the fucking eyeballs
So-
spinning around anyways. That's
It was
just
some
fits.
fucking shit. But anyway,
Yes, I guess we're done with Anima.
Animal? Yeah.
yeah, there's
Alright.
not too much else to say about it. It's
Yeah,
such a good
it's just
album, and
phenomenal.
It's
you know, third so.
what's to come.
What's to come is go ahead.
I don't know what I was gonna say now.
Well, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette now, and I gotta pee, and we'll be back with Lateralis. All right, y'all, we're back. Now we're talking about Lateralis. So I have the misprint where lateralis on the track listing is spelled Lateralis as opposed to the actual title Lateralus. But this is another one where the packaging got more elaborate. So if I can get that out.
That's what she said.
Came in a slipcase. A lot of albums were doing that, but it's fairly translucent and black. But man, I remember thinking that this.
It had some of the coolest covers.
Yeah, I thought this booklet was the coolest shit ever because of it all being clear. You got this man here, but every page peels another layer off of him. Another layer. And another
Inception.
layer. It's just so fucking cool. Until all you have is that. It's so fucking cool. But man, Lateralis is
The Jungle Book.
it is most days it's my favorite one. It gets so fucking cerebral, but the Grudge, god damn man, the motherfucking Grudge. This whole album, all the way through, hardcore on the more progginess. It's just hard to fucking say, y'all. But you were talking about that Area 51 shit.
Yeah.
That was when, cause I'm a big fucking Coast to Coast fan. And that's where that's from. It's a radio show hosted, I believe George Norrie still hosted, but back then I believe Art Bell was hosting at the time when that guy called in. This guy called in talking about how he was just let go. He used to work at Area 51, and he's talking about the aliens aren't what we're seeing. They're interdimensional beings and all this stuff. And it is so frantic and believable. And some people say it's fake. I would hope that I would hope that it's real. You know, I'm all into that kind of stuff anyway. But it is the the franticness in that guy's voice is so like, damn man, this guy is freaking the fuck out. Yeah, it was on the Coast to Coast show with Art Bell, and I thought it was cool as shit that they put that on there, and it is so creepy with the creepy background stuff happening.
Right, like you have to turn it really up loud just to hear it. Like you can't have it on normal sound. Like I had to turn it up because I'm like,
Yeah,
and I remember the first time I heard it too. I'm like, what the fuck is he saying?
yeah, it
And
is
I didn't
creepy,
even get it
man.
at first. I was like, oh shit.
And yeah, so it's not from a movie. It's not just some acting shit. Like it's a straight up call to a fucking paranormal radio show. Like, dude, freaking the fuck out, and then it just cuts out of no fucking words. And they don't know. They don't know. Some people say that it's fake. I would hope that it's. I want to believe Mulder, Fox Mulder. I want to believe.
X-Files.
I will say I'm a skeptical believer when it comes to this stuff.
It could have just been some crazy ass person calling the same shit.
I know, but the dude sounds so fucking
Right,
sincere.
like he sounds extremely believable. Like
Yeah.
like it's hard to fake the sound that you get from certain things. Like
Yeah,
that.
like straight fear. Like it's hard to just fake straight fucking
Nah, it was AI.
fear.
It was aliens, man.
And it's exactly what it was. It was fucking aliens, man. It's like those things that we think of as aliens. That's not what they've told you. It's game over, man. Game over. No, they're interdimensional beings. They're coming after me. Like the dude is like freaking the fuck out. But I hate to, talk about Lateralis and only talk about that bit. But man, what a way to end an album of straight, just third eye diving through motherfucking.
It's an adventure of an album,
yeah.
that's for sure.
It is a adventure. It is the moment they went and embraced the experimentation and the prog. A lot of the groovy stuff is gone. The grungy stuff is is pretty much all gone from here. But they dove deep into the more trance kind of music. The album gets heavy, but it doesn't get super heavy. It's not as heavy as Enema. It's very lot of build-ups, a lot of different movements in the songs, and
It's rock yoga.
I mean,
yoga rock.
Schism's
Yoga
the only one
rock,
that's really
yeah.
the most just radio.
Well, it's a little bit heavy for rock, so it's yoga metal.
Yoga
Yeah, like Schism is the only thing
Yeah, that's-
that could easily be
on.
on the radio, like you just said, and that
Is it-
bass riff, another memorable fucking.
yeah.
But the album starts off with
And
the
you
grunge.
had the taunt.
Yeah, man. And it does it again with some shorter, weird bits and then longer songs. None of them hit up to the 13-minute mark, which isn't bad. But man, the way Parabola, the way Parabol rolls into Parabola, like just check this. So we have in about 14 seconds, man. It's such a slow thing, but when Parabola starts, man, so fucking, that's where some of the groovy shit is, though. Some of the groovy shit, just heavy as fuck. And it rewards you. This album really rewards you for sitting through a lot of the slower build-ups and stuff. Man, because it's like, you're not expecting that, because Parabol is just very, just this.
Just chill.
Well, yeah, because you go from Schism and then you go to this.
Like,
you're
I
like,
can
oh,
definitely,
you're right,
like,
you're like
think
damn,
about,
you're
like,
right back
so
into the long
Maynard's-
stuff.
How Maynard's voice is in Parable, right? Kind of reminds me of how chanting in the background of a song, right? Like it's he's saying things, right? He has lyrics. I don't know what he's saying. I don't remember it. But it's kind of like how you would hear like the world music, right? But you have chanting in the background. Somebody's back there saying something like in whatever native tongue.
Banging on a fucking wind chime.
Right, but some like, that's what it reminds me of, right?
The healing balls.
But that's what it reminds me
Tibetan
of.
throat singers.
Exactly, but I mean that's what the feel I get from it though, like how it feels. It feels like
That's what I like
it's
about
more of a
these
chant
guys,
kind
man.
of
They
thing.
go, yeah, because it's like real.
They went.
Sepultura felt the metal. Sepultura minus the fucking metal.
But yeah, Ticks and Leeches, that drums, man.
So what's funny is I think that he does a lot of so what Lateralis came out in 2001, right? So Murday Gnomes, his fucking Perfect Circle shit came out in 2000. So I think like the reasoning why I like a Perfect Circle for what it is, but a Perfect Circle to me is the Stone Sour of Slipknot, basically.
Yeah,
It's
there.
basically like, but so
An
Corey
outlet
Taylor,
for more
just
commercial
like he did
shit.
with, just like what Corey Taylor does with or did with Stone Sour, where he had his softer, more. I mean, he still had
More
some heavy-
commercial
more
shit.
commercial shit, right? And then started throwing it into Slipknot, right, with Subliminal Verses.
That's what I always said. It was just like, oh look, it's Stone Sour
Maynard does the
featuring
same
Slipknot.
thing where he kind of takes what he did in Murday Gnomes and kind of throws it into Lateralis a little bit, because there's a lot of similarities to the Perfect Circle Murday Gnomes that you put in that you see you listen to Lateralis.
You know, I have
Not
to.
the playability, but his vocals is what I'm saying.
Yeah, his vocals don't really change between his three major projects.
They don't, but I think that there's a certain sound that Tool has that's different from a Perfect Circle, obviously, but vocally, I think that he does things differently in a Perfect Circle, like more commercial stuff that he. I think
his
Lateralis, because you don't hear anything like a Perfect Circle in Enema or in Undertow or Opiate. You start hearing it more from here on, from 2000 on, where a Perfect Circle is a big project, man. I'm surprised he hasn't put anything Pussifer stuff too much into it, but I think he takes more from Tool and a Perfect Circle and throws it into Pussifer rather than take stuff that's in person. Because Pussifer is kind of a weird fucking digital...
It's way off the wall.
Pussifer's like a silly, but...
like the 9 Inch Nails of Tool. It's just kind of weird stuff here and there. But like, yeah, so I mean, that's what I think that why Lateralis has this a different feel from what Enema was. For the most part, I think there is a different feel between the two albums, and I think it's because he's doing a Perfect Circle now as well. So he's throwing in this same kind of similar vocal style that he had in that. So I think that's what I mean, that's at least what I hear in a lot of the songs.
Pussifers.
But at least he didn't commercial up the sound of Tool.
Yeah, thankfully.
No, he kept that thing,
Look,
and
I
everything
think
else was
also
like
though,
schism.
I don't think. Well, I wouldn't say Maynard commercialed it up because the rest of the band that's not in a Perfect Circle is a fucking weird band.
Yeah, because like, you know, I'm sure like Danny, Adam, and Justin are like the main driving force with Tool. Like they work on the music mostly separate from Maynard. And Maynard comes back later and listens to it and is like, okay, I'm going to say this weird shit over aliens and third eyes.
I would say go back and listen.
Chakras.
Right, and now that you're familiar, you know, we haven't listened to Tool in who knows how long, like full through. Now that you've gone a full 2 weeks or whatever, just throwing in some Tool, go back to Murday Gnomes and look.
Yeah, you know what we need to do? You know what we need to do? A fucking Perfect Circle retro.
Sure, I'll do it.
And a fucking Pussifer retro.
I won't do it.
You won't do
I
it?
won't. There is
You gotta love Country Boner.
like I can't. So I hate old Pussifer. Like the first couple, 2 or 3 albums, I can't stand it. I like his Undertaker. Is that the song? I like one song on his first album, on Pussifer's first album. I think like the 5th album. What's with Money something?
Oh yeah, Money Shot.
I think that's the only. That's from then on is what I kind of like. But everything prior to that, I hated it. I did not like it. I don't like the styling. I don't like his vocals. I don't like the weird music.
That's why we need to do it.
So
because here's the thing, I am not really a fan of either, but I have all their stuff. I have all the a Perfect Circle, and I have all the Pussifer, and it was so hard for me to get into either band. But for some reason, that newer A Perfect Circle from a few years ago, I loved the shit out of that. I was like, this is really fucking
So
good.
we should go back to it just to see if maybe we change our mind.
See if we change our minds. Since we're already
I'm
on
on
Tool, we should just fucking go with it, man.
I'm
do
on
a
it. Let's
fucking
do it.
Maynard month.
Maynard
The
month.
month of me.
Month of Maynard.
Then
we're
you
not
should
gonna-
save that
well,
for
I mean,
May.
Tool's already taken, so we'll have to like just those two.
You could just save it for May, so that we can call it Maynard.
I see what you did
See?
there. We're gonna do it. It's on. May's a busy
Maynard.
month. It might have to be June. May's a busy month for me.
No, we'll come up with a date. We gotta do it. We gotta do it now. But man, yeah, I get what you're saying because anytime an artist does that, they do kind of because he's at the time he was so used to doing the stuff with the Perfect Circle that I'm sure that bled into to his voice.
Right.
But like I said, thankfully the whole band didn't commercialize it up. You know, like whatever the fuck wound up happening with Slipknot. You know,
It's just the two band. It's just the separate projects started bleeding back into each other.
Yeah. So I'm glad that didn't happen. So, but man, fucking lateralis all the way
Oh,
through.
you can imagine how acid trippy that would be if a Pussifer Tool style.
Oh, that would be weird.
I always imagine Pussifer was
It would
he's
probably
something
be
he
more
saw in a
interesting
drug
than,
trip.
than Fear Inoculum.
He was tripping balls and he came up with the character Pussifer.
I know, that's a little bit much. Come on, Dave.
I just see that's how Pussifer came about. He was really fucking high, and one of his trips, he was like saw some really crazy
I think
shit.
he was bored.
Yeah,
I think he was high enough for the other two bands. I think he just got bored because he had nothing to do. Because Tool,
he smoked his way
Tool
past.
didn't release a fucking album for 11 years. I mean,
Tool
I
is
think
when
he
you go
was
too
bored.
far. You just open your damn
I think
third eye too far. Oh, wait, went too far.
Pussifer was Maynard's way of going. Look, I can still write some music, some weird shit on my own time.
and he's stuck with Pussifer.
I mean, there's a lot of
for
Pussifer albums out now. There's
Like when you think about the wait in between the last Perfect Circle to the newest Perfect Circle is fairly similar to the wait between 10,000 Days to Fear Inoculum.
Good God.
In between both,
That was a big
he
one.
was hardcore in Pussifer, doing Pussifer shit.
He released a lot of shit.
And
all
then-
of it, like in time, like within like 4
Yeah,
years.
and then boom, we get a new Perfect Circle, then the new Tool, then the new Pussifer. All within like a 3-year span there. I think 2018 Perfect Circle, 2019 Tool, 2020 Pussifer. But man, like, how about another massively
That shit.
they got another massively well-known bass riff. Goddamn.
It's pretty much like. It's pretty much all it was. I mean, we all know it.
Yeah, but
You play guitar, you know that riff.
And then what's going on with Mantra?
Marshall's just like a
Just the mantra.
weird fucking.
You see some
Namaste.
Sherpa, big
Namaste.
fucking, some Sherpas on a fucking side of a mountain.
Namaste.
Yeah, this album's like hardcore on the
World.
just chakra
That world.
shit, man.
World music.
This is weird.
Fucking,
I
you
think
can charge your crystals to this album and straight
Charge
up
your crystals.
like this album
It's
is
yoga metal.
yeah, this is an album that you
Hot
listen
yoga
to
metal right there.
when you're performing Reiki on some motherfuckers. You're like, man, I'm feeling some real crazy
High on
disturbance in
ketamine.
your solar plexus, man.
Taking the highest fucking ketamine.
And it is a great album to listen to
DMT.
fucking stoned, man. Dude, DMT with fucking Tool, bro, man. Bro.
Proper way is probably taking
That's probably why
ayahuasca.
I've
I
never
was-
tripped on Tool, so
Yeah,
that's probably why
because
Lateralis
fucking
didn't-
DMT is just
Super
like,
short.
yeah, it's the motherfucking drive-by
It's
shooting.
the salvia of fucking power
Pretty
drugs.
much, but man, it took me places Salvia never could, man. Oh,
No, we
God
did it.
damn.
Man, I remember that
Oh.
fucking riding the groovy bus with salvia and weed, fucking
Ride the groove
groovy bus. Like I can see the music.
Fucking dude, but like fucking oh my god, the DMT with when we first started smoking DMT, we were trying. It is such a fine powder, you can't smoke it like weed. So we sent Zach to go buy a crack pipe at the fucking sex shop in the ghetto down there, and one of his ex-girlfriends was working there. And when he put the crack, he's like, "Yeah, I want to get this right there." And she was like, "Zach, no." He's like, "It's not for that." She's like, "Okay." But it was much easier to smoke the DMT, man. You poured the powder in the fucking in the little crack pipe, and you heat it up, and it just fucking and you're just.
That's what you need a hot nail for. You gotta get a quartz banger hot nail. Put extract in it.
That's what it was, man. But I left my body, man.
Your brain was just starved for oxygen.
Left my motherfucking body, dude. That was a God. That was a thing. That was a thing.
Anyway,
But yeah, this album, man, really goes hardcore on that
Tool and
stuff.
drugs go hand in hand.
I mean, really, dude. But this,
Since
I gotta,
Lateralis on, I mean, it's pretty much even more.
yeah, gotta play it. This is the crazy, coast to coast bit.
It's like the last minute.
Yeah, it's in there.
You're not gonna be able to hear it. Go on YouTube and you can actually find it without all the extra.
Yeah, you can go to
Yeah.
YouTube and look up "Crazy Dude Calls Coast to Coast." You know.
There's a lot of people that do that though. You can't just put that. You got to talk about Aliens Area 51, something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, go ahead, y'all throw in some opinions, man. I've just been talking about
I
drugs.
think you just nailed it exactly.
I mean, for me, it was it's a fantastic album to listen to, but Lateralis for me was never one of those albums I go back to a lot.
You know what? It is
Because
the
of
one
how-
I listen to the most when I think about it.
Is it?
Yeah.
See, I mean, like I said, it's just a steady. It's the middle of the bunch for me. You know, it's kind
Because
of
it's
like
one
I
that
know the songs
when
that
I
are
said
on there.
when I said Enema had to be played all the way through, this one definitely needs to
yeah, I
be played
mean-
all the way through.
I mean, I've listened to Schism a million times, right? Like Schism is the
It's the
popular
radio
song
It's
on
the
this
popular
album.
song.
Parabola is another popular song that I've listened to a lot, right? I've heard both those two songs on here. But the rest of the album itself, I've heard here and there, but I've never really just said, okay, I'm going to jump and go to it again and listen to it.
Just
Undertow
skip
is,
straight to the actual song.
like I said, the other two albums, Enema and Undertow, are such an easier listen. for
Yeah,
me.
they are easier
They're
listens. I'm
easier
gonna tell
to
you
listen,
that.
so they're
And-
easier to go back to.
And Enema is the last easy listen
Right,
from
yeah.
here on out.
Well, I mean, okay, so segue into the 10,000 Days.
Which is, when we get there, there are some things I do want to say about 10,000 Days and easy listening. But,
Yeah.
are you done talking about?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty
Lyrics?
much all. I don't have a lot too much to say, like I said, because I mean, it's trippy.
Yeah.
It's a fucking. It has a lot of cool things that happen with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool shit just happening.
Random
Randomly
Maynard
cool
shit.
Yeah.
sound effects. The drums are phenomenal on this. The bass, there's bass parts on here on this album. I can't tell you exactly which song because there's always like some weird things, but I think the bass stands out a lot on
Yeah,
this album.
it's a whole lot more prominent.
Like he does a lot more stuff with it.
You can
Like,
tell it's a
just-
bass this time.
Right.
Like,
It
That-
doesn't sound like
there's
doesn't sound like a
certain-
bassy guitar. It
There's
sounds
like
like a
certain
you hear that?
riffs that he does that you're just like fuck, that was so good,
Yeah,
and then it
like-
goes away.
and it's memorable.
Like, and it's just like a
It's a
certain.
memorable
I
part.
can't
You hear it,
remember
you
what
don't
song
text.
it's on because of the unfortunate. The album itself is
the album flows like one long piece.
right, and it's kind of hard to go. Okay, wait, which song was that back on?
Yeah,
Let me
which
go
song
back
did
to-
this thing?
Because it's just a tweak. Now the guitars to me sound like Tool guitars. I mean, the guitar, the riffs and everything, they sound like Tool. Like they're there, but the prominent parts are the drums and bass. I think.
Yeah.
Maynard does Maynard. That's how Maynard works. Maynard does Maynard. But in this album, I would say the plus side to this album compared to the other two albums, right? The positive side were the drums and bass. Right, the bass he played around with a whole bunch of different things on it,
And I think
it wasn't
too,
a straight
with
groove
every
tone.
Tool album, those are major standouts all the way throughout their career, like the bass and the drums
Right.
and the way they work together. Even the Paul Diamore stuff, with the way Danny worked with him as well. But then when you get to Enema and you get the way him and Justin are working together, it's like there's magic
Right.
that is there, but hasn't been fully realized yet. And on Lateralis,
It has, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, like I said, the drums and on this album specifically, and the bass guitar stand out the most out of everything, memorable wise. They like. Maynard,
It's a
like I
lot
said,
clear in
It's
this
a
album.
lot clearer.
It's a lot clearer. You
pick
really
up,
you can
you
tell
pick
where
up little things that the
Yeah.
bass does. Like I said, the guitar, they're good riffs, but it's a Tool riff.
It's-
It's
yeah,
definitely
they're
the
generic.
guitar leads, or the guitar is the rhythm the entire way. The bass is the lead. I think
Yeah.
how it works out, right? Because of how, and then the drums are just so chaotic. I would say even more of because of how
tribal.
It's not well. There's that groove in parts, but then it's the tribalness, and then there's like little ting ting like kind of thing, and then it goes
Yeah. And he hits
like
on he hits on weird percussive instruments that are pretty uncommon in rock music.
Exactly.
Which
so,
I think is awesome as fuck. Like I'd love to see a picture of his kit. For real.
Google it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
But I mean, it's the fact that like that's the cool thing about Lateralis itself that separates. I guess you have that. Yeah, right.
That
But,
one,
like,
that's the most very prominent. Everyone knows that. You hear it.
everyone knows that bass part, but like, so the thing is though with Schism though, that's the most basic bass part in the entire album. Because if you listen to each song,
And it's
there's
pretty
like,
complicated on its own.
And he'll drag out notes and put them in certain spots, and that's one thing I really like. The bass is probably my favorite part about this album. It's just because of how he does different things with it.
Yeah. Like the
well,
way
It's not
bass-
just this. It's
It's bass led.
right. It is a
all
very
over the
bass led
place.
album.
It's all bass led.
and
it's
to
a prominent
have
instrument.
you gotta have a great fucking drummer if you're gonna have a fucking bassist like that, man.
Right.
Because they gotta work off of each other.
That timing's just gotta be right.
And the way they do it, man, the way he'll hit a certain drum
to the bass.
to a certain bass note is so fucking cool. Like I said before, very similar to early Primus, when you had Tim Erb and Claypool, the way their bass and drums would play together. At least the early Tool, but now, weirdly enough, Primus has moved in that weird ambient fucking way too. But the bass on The Grudge, that goddamn. That echo. But listen to this. This double bass that comes in when the shit just got that synthesizer coming in.
See that bass, that is the fucking rule right there.
Yeah, when's that double bass come in?
It's building. You can feel it.
So you love that tribe.
He's a Tom Moore.
Yeah, he is. He does not fucking play on that snare. Fuck that snare. It's the toms. He plays the kit.
Never gonna find it.
Yeah, I'm never gonna find it. But this is also the album that.
I thought it was towards the end where he did that.
It probably is. It's so hard, like you said earlier, just a moment ago. It's hard to find certain parts.
It all just
Right,
flows you.
'cause
It's
just
like listening
so-
on a tape. You're like crap. You gotta rewind. You gotta find the exact spot because you
But,
don't know which song you're listening to.
Oh my God, what was I gonna
Those kids
say?
that don't know what a tape
The bass and grudge.
This is the album that gets memed heavily with the Tool fan base. With the song being
One of Homer sitting there like
third
when
eye.
the mushrooms kick in.
and,
It's always when the mushrooms start
the
kicking
song being done and the Fibonacci sequence and the Fibonacci spiral kind of stuff. What up, dude?
Oh my god.
Damn.
Face.
That's fucking Zach over there, and so. You know, it is an interesting song because this album, man, they fuck with time signatures that fuck my brain.
in. Trying to play it's not easy because it's like they'll change the tip.
Yeah,
and it'll just
yeah,
stop
dude.
and all of a sudden
It is beyond
Trying to keep
my
up with it.
comprehension, man.
It's kind of like your Christmas song when we're trying to do fucking the 12 Days of Christmas. You have that fucking random weird.
I mean, when
time
you start
signature
fucking
change.
with 7/8, 7/9 timing and shit, it is beyond my comprehension. But it is so fucking cool, and I will say, I used to be that guy that was like, oh man, dude, Fibonacci, man.
Then he grew up.
But then I was like, let me nerd out. Let me nerd out. When I first learned about that, I was like, oh man, that's fucking cool as shit, dude. Let me nerd out. But then it became a thing where it's like, we're gonna meme the shit out of y'all. And yeah, so there's that one
You
little.
want to be a part of the meme.
There's this little video. There's a video that I think is hilarious that pops up on my Facebook every once in a while, where it's like a guy in a Tool shirt walks up or something, and the guy's like, "Hey man, name 3 songs." He's like, "Well, you know what? How about instead of 3 songs, I go with their discography. Here, hold my Spiral." And he's like, "Opiate, da 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 da," and then it just kind of cuts. But yeah. Tool is awesome, and I hate that their fan base got so pretentious.
They're all from California.
They're more pretentious than the band.
Which ironically, that
Or the music,
Maynard's
I would
like
say.
would love to see California sink into the ocean.
Yeah. So, any last thoughts on Lateralis?
That's about it.
Yeah, I pretty much say what I thought about.
That went on about as long as some of the songs on there.
But yeah, I want to smoke a cig now and see what Zach's up to. Okay, y'all, we're back. What's up? Now we are on 10,000 Days.
10,000 days.
Which, boom, again, going crazy elaborate with their packaging. I remember our buddy Nick had bought this when it came out and was showing me the little 3D glasses kind of shit. And I was like, that shit is too fucking cool.
For Tool.
But, man, it's just so fucking cool. You know, you just look through here.
Stereoscope.
And I don't know, man. It's so much fucking cool shit to just look at, and it's like, oh man, dude.
They want people just to be walking around like this. It's tripping balls trying to look at it.
And you just get stoned and just stare at it, man.
They try to study it.
That's cool. Just like, what does it mean, man? What does it mean? But yeah, this album come out.
This is their Jungle Book album. I'm just saying.
What you mean, Jungle Book?
It's all jungly. It's like,
Oh.
it's very tribal.
Yeah, this one gets hard
This is
on
like,
the tribal.
like very tribal.
But
like,
this one really, I was texting you this the other day. I was like, this one gets like way heavier than Lateralis in some spots.
I think this is a good mix album. Like they mixed up their
The metal and the prog,
their
like-
enema stuff mixed in with a lot of their proggy shit. There are a few songs that kind of veer off on this, which is why it doesn't keep your attention as well. I don't think.
And then the pot, I would say, is probably the first most
Enema song.
almost radio perfect song, because it's still proggy as hell, but it is probably the most structured kind of Tool song in a minute at that point. Especially with the "Who are you to point your finger? You gotta be out of your head." But fuck, Zombie, oh my god. And then like they wanted it like this genie thing, and they said that the bass kind of reminded them of Pee Wee Herman, Pee Wee's Playhouse, so they called it Zombie, kind of based off of the.
Is that what it was? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But man, I mean, Vicarious. You got
The first 4 or 5 songs on it. Yeah, that's a fucking cool riff.
like this one.
This
album.
album, that album's full. It's full of stuff like
The
that.
first half of it is definitely
Lots of really
like
good
early.
riffs.
Like you can definitely get a lot of the early Tool out
Yeah.
of the first 3 or 4 songs, and then you got Lateralis right after that. Like everything after
Yeah.
towards the end is just a weird trip, basically that you go through. I hated how this album ended too.
Man, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. When I was listening to it the other day, and we were on the how do you say that? Vigenti trays,
Vigenti Trey.
Oh.
That's the sound.
and it's just like,
It just ends. I'm just like that sucked.
yeah, all
It's
it
kind of
is.
like a
it's
build up
just
to nothing.
It's a 5-minute creepy atmosphere thing. And when it was over, I was expecting another song. I was like, oh yeah, I
It
forgot
was just over.
that this album just ends on some
Now,
weird
what makes you wonder,
atmosphere.
That's my
what-
favorite song.
What if
right
that goes
too.
backwards? Like,
Yeah.
is that one of
Monkey
those weird
killing
songs that
monkey.
you listen to it backwards kind of thing?
Yes.
Right too.
Say monkey killing?
Well, yeah, the song's supposed to be from the point of view of angels watching these
But yeah,
monkeys on Earth just killing each other, y'all.
Yeah, he them pipe thingies are tung 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 tung. A lot of
The
that.
wood pipe sound.
Yeah, man. But yeah, the pot though.
This is their shortest album ever made.
The bass. You don't hear it so good in your phone, but yeah, that bass.
Oh yeah, the
This is, like I said, this is a very Enema song.
yeah, it gets real fucking groovy on some shit. But damn it, I can't remember what I was gonna say. Rosetta Stone. Yeah.
That's a good timing thing.
Just so goddamn awesome.
Now this is their, like, I honestly can say this, the first album that I think the guitar really comes forward on it. Like, Lateralis had the bass and the drum, and then this one, he really stands out on a lot of, like, guitar solo-y kind of stuff.
There's the talk box guitar solo. Is it on Zombie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but, like, that's this, you can hear the guitar like this in the
Yeah,
other
the guitar is
albums.
prominent. in
Right,
this
and
album.
this one, he really stands
It's
out on
very
this.
prominent.
That is true. The guitar, the riffs, the leads, there's a lot more going on with the guitars on this one. Definitely
Prior.
compared to Lateralis. Like I said, it's a much heavier album than Lateralis. I think it mixes like you were saying, it mixes the Enema style and the Lateralis stuff really fucking well. And just the amount of polish on the production is crazy because it sounds so clear and clean. But there's a trick. There's supposedly 3 songs that are meant to be played at the same time. Wings for Mary and 10,000 Days, and then another track, I forget which one. But 3 of them are meant to be played at the same time, and or separate, like the album. But I keep forgetting which one it's supposed to be with them. But man, Lost Keys, goddamn. Like this is this is cool. This is really cool. Just kind of sounds like this is some grungy ass shit. Like this is some like Alice in Chains kind of shit. And then random ass people talking.
It's fucking,
It's a good
I
album.
hurt myself today. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
right,
going to break out
right.
into some 9 Inch
But
Nails.
yeah, that talk box reminds me so much of Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow.
This is what you're missing out on if you miss our videos.
Wow.
Travis making guitar noise.
Yeah, mouth metal,
Or
man.
drums. Boom, boom, boom.
Travis and his wood pipes. Dong, dong, dong.
Dong, 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 dong.
Do your head thing. He's a xylophone. He's his own damn xylophone.
Yeah, and then this
Yeah,
this right here, this
Come on,
voodoo
chant.
sounding shit. That is so fucking cool.
He has the guitar. Yeah.
This is almost like a precursor to Zeal and Ardor. It's just so fucking cool. Intention.
It's a bunch of chill shit.
Yeah, that weird drum machine kind of shit.
Like something from a 90s teen flick.
Yeah, this shit is... 10,000 Days is the shit. It's another one where I'm like...
It's one of the best hard rock.
Like,
prog.
it's a definite
It's so much harder
fantastic
than
prog
Lateralis.
metal album, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one. Well, you know what? I said, I'm going to take back what I said earlier. I said that in kind of the order. Because now that I think about it, I do like 10,000 Days more than Lateralis.
Oh, wow.
So I would
Yeah.
say, like, how that was ordered, flip those two. I think that just for me, I don't really care for Tool prog. For proggy Tool, like the proggy stuff. I like all
like this album.
I pretty much like everything.
It's not as bad with it.
I mean,
It's filled
I
so
love
much better.
I love all their stuff that's not prog, and I like some of their stuff that's prog.
So you like it a little more when it's metaled up more.
Well, when it's that grunginess that they have, like their.
That's why he likes Undertow.
That's why I love Undertow, because I like their grunginess. Like I like the heaviness of it, as well as how raw it sounds. And I think that, you know, proggy Tool just doesn't do for me what grunge Tool does.
And to me,
It's the opposite.
the grungy metal Tool is fucking awesome, but proggy Tool to me is better than a lot of proggy shit happening.
Right,
out
but I'm
there.
not comparing it to.
But it's like it's my I don't know. I've been listening to prog for so fucking long.
Yeah, and you're
that,
comparing
like-
it to other prog. Like
Yeah.
I'm just comparing prog, what I like about Tool that sounds prog, or what I don't like about it. You know, I'm not comparing it from, you know, apples to oranges. Because you're right. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of prog bands out there nowadays that are pretty much
soulless.
There's nothing really.
It's still
in them.
formulaic.
Now
Yeah.
there are prog bands that are phenomenal and they're doing stuff differently still. I mean, look at anything that Devin Townsend fucking shits out on his fucking day is a fucking
But he's been doing
Weird.
shit, you know, since for
strapping young lad.
yeah. So
But
he's been
stuff like
around
that
too.
wasn't.
And I wouldn't call that like prog metal, but like definitely like more technical in the doorway of prog.
And then you got like the band Lepers that I like that does prog mixed in with some kind of Radiohead stuff, similar things.
Slow.
We only got 2,000 days and
We're almost
Fear
done with
Inoculum.
10,000 days. We're about to be on,
Fear
Yeah.
Inoculum.
and that was just gonna be a shit show. Me talking about it again.
No, I think 10,000 days was great. It was a bit of a long wait, and at this point, we're in the middle of them doing of Maynard doing the Perfect Circle thing for a few years, and
It wasn't that long. It was only 6 between.
It's 5.
yeah, it's about 5 years.
2001 to 2006 is when 10,000 days, and then we waited 11 years to get that other one.
No, we waited 13.
13.
Or 13 years.
13.
13 years. A whole teenager in between. Think
One
about
acid
that.
baby growing up.
Think about that, man.
There's a kid out there that doesn't know Tool because of that.
Yeah. There's a kid that was born the day fucking 10,000 Days dropped and turned 13 the day Fear Inoculum dropped. But 10,000 Days is the shit. It's just, I like the way there's more, it's heavier, but it retains the weird shit and pushes that weird shit forward. So what about you, man?
Yeah, it sums it up. The whole, I like it. It is a really good album because it's more of a compromise between like Lateralis and Enema. You just let more hard rock with enough prog in it to where like the sections don't feel so long and drawn out like they are going to be in Fear Inoculum, where they're just like these long bars of just this one instrument constantly swelling like it'll just blue balling you the whole damn time. You want some? Like, come on, give me a cymbal crash. Come on, something different. It's the same fucking beat. But yeah, so this was the best compromise in it as far as getting that really dark, hard, grungy metal with that Tool sound, that Tool prog sound.
Yeah. So next is the 13-year wait of Fear Inoculum. This thing, I bought both versions of the CD. So the original CD version that came out, pushing CD packaging further again with the goddamn LED or HD fucking screen video. We're fucking crazy, man. And man, I wish I was still smoking weed when this album dropped, so I can just watch this high as fuck, man. But yeah, it goes on like a good minute, man, but too motherfucking cool. So then, not too long after that one dropped, they did the big Digibook version, which, everybody does a special Digibook fucking kind of album, but I do like these. But man, it's got a lot more art and shit to look through. But you know, it's basically the same album, but the artwork has expanded in a way. So I mean,
They got to. It was a trick the whole
If
time.
Bethesda you. They scarred you.
and then another 2 years, 3 years drop, and then they finally put it on vinyl for all those fucks too.
You
But
didn't buy that one.
nah,
You should have. It would have been part of the collection.
I ain't that big a
Why not
vinyl
waste my
head.
money collection?
I ain't that big a vinyl head.
The video is the coolest probably thing I think I've seen.
Yeah,
That's like one of the most unique things.
But
Yeah.
what's sad is like, is there a way to get to the battery? Because sooner or later it's gonna
Yeah.
die.
no, it's rechargeable.
They actually thought that one
Is there a
through.
plug-in?
Yeah. It's got a USB that sits in the side of it, and then you just pull the USB cable out, plug it in,
Damn.
plug it in. I charged it
no,
today
it's like one of those.
because it'd been like 5 years, you know.
5 years, so that's funny.
But man, all right. So Fear Inoculum, you know, I remember I loved the shit when it came out. Man, it blew me away. I loved the shit out of that whole week. That's all I listened to. I was going to sleep listening to this album. Had my little earbuds.
I go
in.
to sleep listening to this album too. It's totally different sleep.
But I would put the earbuds in, man, and I would just like fucking relax. This album is a very meditative kind of thing, man. It is
Yoga metal.
yeah, there you go with the yoga metal again, for real though. Like this one like
Namaste.
really, yeah, this one goes really hard into it.
Yeah.
But this
Better
album,
Alice would have been Yoga Prague. This is just Yoga metal.
and so this one's still pretty heavy, but very mid-tempo. Lots of build-ups.
So slow.
This album doesn't necessarily push the boundaries of Tool's sound as much as it's Tool trying to push the boundaries of what they think they can get away with, because the songs get way long and the build-ups way long to almost little payoffs, to tell you the truth. But I love every minute of it, man. But I have to be in the mood. I'm turning Ladder Alice on before this any day. I'm turning 2,000 Days on before this nowadays. You know, but when I was listening to it the other day and I was just like, man, this shit is still so fucking good. I would say for me, it was worth the 13-year wait. And then another thing is like, damn, I better like this because it might be another 13 years before we get another one.
It'd be crazy if you can take all the songs on certain songs on that one also, and overlap them in the spots where it's fucking long and just one fucking instrument, other parts of another song filled in.
Yeah, right.
Probably, I mean, yeah, definitely. There's like 6 minute
He
intro.
says that every note, every piece of every fucking song is there for an exact purpose, for
Yeah.
an exact reason.
And with this
He must have had
album,
trouble
it's
sleeping.
like
You might have Kojima'd that shit up.
and then it almost at times it feels like there's not a whole lot of Maynard on here, because for years Danny, Adam, and Justin worked on the music for this thing, and
13.
when all this was going on, fucking Maynard's dicking around making wine and
Deuces Winery.
doing goddamn Pussifer and shit, and just, you know, annoying everybody, because it'd be like, yeah, man, we're just waiting on Maynard's vocals, you know, like, motherfucker, y'all hurry up. But, yeah, so it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of Maynard on here, but, man, you get certain fucking tracks that are just fucking mind-blowing, dude. Like, I think Chocolate Chip Trip.
That's a weird fucking. I hate that song.
Are you serious?
I do. I didn't never like that song. I
Fuck
didn't
it.
like it when I heard it the first time.
Crazy, weird, fucking...
But I don't like.
And then the
it's very
drums.
9 Inch Nails.
Man, the fucking drums, though, when the real drums kick in, man.
It's filler music to me.
Nah, dude, it's meant to
It's
be
a
there, man.
filler.
Calling,
It's a filler song.
Calling Voices is my favorite song.
It has no
I love
like
that.
so Maynard can tell you all day long that it has purpose, but I mean to me it's like you can hear a shitty song and be like, yeah, it has purpose because somebody liked it on this in this band. Somebody was like, the drummer was like, yeah, let's have a drum track with some fucking weird shit to it in the back of it. And yet, that's the drummer who's fucking, like, the reason why that song ended up on it. It's filler. It's not
That
even
is-
good filler.
It's not filler, and
It's
it's
fucking Nine
if
Inch Nails
If it
is
is
like-
filler, it's awesome filler
It's not
because
awesome
it's the
filler.
shit.
No, it
It is
throws
the
you out of
shit.
any mood this album puts you into.
Really?
I think so, because, what's the song before it?
Calling Voices.
Alright, and where does that go into? From?
And after that, it goes into Tempest, which is like,
I fucking
Boom.
like just bomb like awesome like Tempest is awesome. But this is coming out of the wee 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 thing shit with chocolate chip horror
well, dude,
thing.
you gotta wait. That build up. This
I
is
don't like
like
it.
this is
I don't
like
like
getting
it.
on the spaceship, man.
I don't care for
It's
it.
getting
It's
on
stupid.
the fucking spaceship. But Josh says his favorite song is Calling Voices. This one with a lot of build up.
Yeah.
Lots of build up on this
So I've
one.
been playing around.
But then yeah, when it kicks in, you wait about 7 minutes.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's this album is an hour and a half, 26 minutes. 1 hour, 26 minutes long.
1 hour and 26 minutes.
You could cut 26 minutes and still have a good album, right? That 26
Oh yeah, no,
minutes
it's
is
repeated
just
a
garbage.
lot.
It's garbage sound. It's
But
like
the original
it's
idea,
like cutscenes.
an
out of-
original idea was this was all going to be one song.
Thank God it wasn't. I would have fucking not listened to it at all. Look, there's a certain point that you can get to with creativity, and like there are plenty of artists
I
out
think
there
at this point,
for
Tool
that
is allowed
point.
to do whatever they want to
Tool
do.
shouldn't.
You don't have to like it.
A lot of people don't like it. Apparently, I thought I had a
so.
bad opinion. I thought I was going to be like one of few that did not like this album as much as that a lot of Tool fans have. Nope, I was wrong. We have a lot of friends that hate this album as well. Thank you, Mick. He
Yeah,
hates it
it's
as bad as I do. I was like,
It's a
fuck yeah.
fucking. Some days
It's a snore.
It could
It's a
be a
slog
slog.
fest.
It could be a slog,
It-
but you gotta. For me, I gotta be in the right mood to hear it. I'm not like every day like, dude, I gotta turn on that Fear Inoculum, man.
If Tool would, here you go.
It's like I
So,
told David the other
let's
day.
take the
I
gap
said,
that they're gonna wait 13 years, right? They took 13 years. If they give us an album in 6 years, it's just gonna be the fucking Fear Inoculum without that 30 minutes because they finally said, fuck it, no one listens to this one. Let's give them one that will actually is listenable, right? It's boring.
it ain't that. It is not boring.
It's not a thing that you
It's
say,
not-
oh man, I really want to go back to it and listen to it
Now, I
8
was
minutes
gonna say,
of just
it's
the intro.
not boring. It's not boring, but it's not as not boring as 10,000 Days and Lateralis.
10,000 days got a
It has
lot
moments
going on.
of greatness, right? Each
Hey.
song has a good moment of it, right? I will admit there are parts of it,
That are pretty
but I
fucking
hate
phenomenal.
the 4 to 8 minute intros. That's
It's just
the
you gotta
biggest, my
be-
biggest issue.
You just gotta
about it.
follow the vibe, man. You just gotta follow that wavy
too old for it.
train.
I'm too old
Just
to
gotta-
take 20 minutes to listen to one song, okay?
just
I need
gotta-
get to the fucking
You gotta
point.
follow that wave,
Get to the
man.
fucking point. I'm not from
Dude,
California.
it's not about getting to the point, man. It's about the journey, bro.
The
It's
journey
like,
sucks.
It's like
The journey's
if,
a brick.
If it's gonna be
Through a
7
window.
minutes,
That's why Tool will never succeed anymore because TikTok kids can't last more than 15 seconds. So there's no way in hell a Tool
yeah,
song's
they
gonna
wouldn't
keep-
figure out. They wouldn't know how to take a Tool song and put it on a TikTok video. They'd be like, "What the fuck?" But no, I mean, I love the shit out of the album. Every minute of it. But I got to be in the mood. I do got to be in the mood. I can't turn it on like Lateralis and 10,000 Days. It's like those albums are the build-ups are way rewarding, especially on Lateralis. Whereas this one.
It kind of blue balls you.
Yeah, it blue balls you because you're expecting a big crescendo and then it doesn't happen.
Blue balls.
Yeah. Like, but what's happening is to me awesome. Like I'm really getting into it, but I'm not trying to think
You
about
totally
it.
ducked there.
Yeah, I'm trying. This isn't Lateralis. This isn't Enema. This isn't 10,000 Days. This is
Can't see me.
this is the next fucking Tool, man. Like I thought they did their fucking thing.
It is
But the synthesizers, especially on fucking Numa. This right here, the synthesizers on this album are the shit. Cause you get these goddamn shit starts to fucking sound like motherfucking like John Carpenter kind of shit. And then is it Invincible?
Invincible probably one of the better songs.
And this was interesting. You notice how he skips through songs? It sounds like maybe on the same damn song, he skips through it and it sounds like fucking 3 or 4 different songs.
Yeah, it's too long.
The styles, there's like different
Yeah.
styles and change-ups in every
More-
song. That voice doing that kind of robotic.
So fucking cool, man. And then Legion Inoculate.
Another Waste of Space song.
But alright, then why is that a Waste of Space song, but the other songs just like this on Lateralis and 10,000 Days aren't Waste of Space songs?
Because they're so short and I forget about them. They don't sound like a fucking chocolate
He's
chip
mad,
bullshit.
he's irrationally
Chocolate-
mad, he
how
can't
is-
help it.
How is chocolate chip... Dude, Zach, tell me, man. Tell me. Chocolate chip trick.
He's a drummer though, he gets it. The sound effects throw it for me.
Right?
It's like a robot playing jazz.
But he's a drummer. And this is the reason why the song's on here, because of the fucking drummer.
Listening. The drum solo.
It's just a drum solo.
Y'all aren't drummers.
Exactly.
And Zach over there throwing the sneak face like a motherfucker. And goes, oh, damn. I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling you.
Hey,
Like,
I haven't listened to that album.
you haven't? Man,
Is that the new one?
Yeah. You're missing out.
You never listened to it?
No, not
It's
yet.
because it's boring.
No, I didn't. It came out on a stacked year, or I just wasn't paying attention
I
to
thought you
what
were in
was
the
coming
video.
out, and I just never got
No, it
around
was just
to
you
it.
and
It
I.
was, yeah.
Plus, the buy it was too much. It was too much to buy.
Well, see, dude, I pre-ordered it when it was $80. Right before
God
it came
damn.
out, look, right before it came out, because you know Amazon does the pre-order price guarantee. So if it drops the price, you get it for that lowest price. It dropped down to $40 right before it was released, and so I only paid $40 for it.
That ain't bad.
Or,
But fuck, still, goddamn.
Still a lot of money, but I would rather pay.
Isn't the fucking vinyl for this thing?
The vinyl's pretty.
Isn't it like $400?
No, I think one edition was stupid high. There's multiple editions of
What, they
the
mix
vinyl.
some of his semen in the damn batch or something? What the
might as
hell?
well.
Isn't there
That's-
a band that did that? Put their semen in the vinyl?
Not that I know of, but might as well.
I think there's one that did their pubes in it too.
That sounds like a kiss.
I think the weirdest thing though is Mockingbee.
So that's something Blink 182 would do.
The final track, Mockingbee, it's like you got this bird.
It's like a bat.
No, these are birds distorted.
I hear it.
I hear bats.
But it's also cool because it sounds like you could do that on a guitar.
Yeah. And so it's another one where like it's weird atmosphere thing just ending the album. Like, dude, I am here to say Fear Inoculum is better than most people give it credit for, but you got to be in the mood because it is a journey. This album demands your attention. It's another one that is meant to be heard all the way through, no skips, because there is no. The album is unforgiving.
How long is it?
An hour and 26 minutes. The
11 tracks.
It all doesn't. No, it's 10 tracks.
10 tracks. Oh.
11 if you count the track on the video, which they kind of count that as a track.
Don't you get that listening to it on streaming? The one that was on the.
I don't know, because the digital version I have is the.
My Amazon has a lot of tracks.
Okay, so then it might have that extra track
Okay.
from there, because you can download the track. You got download cards to download that track that's on the video.
Yeah, Mocking Beast.
Well, Mocking Beat's the final track on the original digital version.
Oh well, it's got 10 on Apple.
Yeah. So there are more tracks that can fit on the CD.
Hour 27.
On the CD,
Oh, I
you
didn't
own,
try to play it. It
Oh,
just started
okay,
playing.
yeah. I thought it was 11.
on the CD. There's only 7 tracks. You have to have the digital version because the vinyl only 9 tracks. You have to have the digital version to get the full fucking experience because they made so much music like fuck it man, just put this amount on the CD, throw the rest on a download card, bro.
It could fit.
Well, give me 2 discs.
Well, think about that too. They probably spent a lot of money getting that little video thing made.
Yeah.
It's not no shitty one. It's a really nice.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. They put the extra time and effort in to make it
Well, let me surprise
rechargeable.
You probably can rip that video off and put it on a computer. You know what you're doing.
They give you a download code for that too, for the fucking video file.
I bet it's already on YouTube by now.
I mean, I'm sure. I'm sure the moment.
5 years or.
I'm sure the moment that album dropped, people
God,
put
see,
that
this
thing
is
on
crazy.
YouTube.
What, 8 years ago we did the retrospective where it was you trying to get us to talk while everything else was going on in the background, and I watched it the other day, and I said, Tool ain't coming out with another album. This is it. This is all they're ever gonna do. And
Yeah.
if you look at 10,000 Days as their last album, they went out on a high note. Don't
Yeah.
come back. Stay broken up.
Damn.
It was,
I
it
agree.
was something on the lines of that, where I was like, don't come back. Just don't fuck it up. Come on now.
They did such a good job on Opiate Square, and I look forward to the new album.
Yeah. I still gotta get that. I still gotta get the Opiate Square.
What is that?
Alright, so we know
It's
my
just a
opinion.
re-recorded version of the
Opiate.
song Opiate.
What is that other thing the dude on the speaker brains told you to get, and you said it's in my.
Oh, Lusk. It's Paul Diamore and Danny Carey. After Paul Diamore left Tool, it's the only album he did with another band he started.
Oh.
There you go.
But yeah, love the shit out of it. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I mean, but it felt very long and drawn out in many places. Like I said, my favorite song is Calling Voices. So every song had lots of parts that were really good, but when you got in between, when it's just it's this long swelling of drums, and then they'll throw there's the bass,
Weird rhythms,
weird
and
sound, the rhythms,
time
time
signatures, and
Yeah,
Was
like
it the band that broke up? Or was it Maynard broke up with the band?
they didn't break up. They just moved on to their next project till.
The band had we're like, well, we don't have any other bands, so we're just gonna do this for 13 years. It took 13 years to write 10 songs.
Well, the
They're
way
18
he
minutes
designed
long.
stuff, it probably did take him 13 years to work on it. He had to put every note in the exact right spot.
And then
They
there
were
was all
also in other places in their lives. at
yeah,
the
there's
time.
all kinds of other shit going on. Legal battles.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot
motherfucking-
about that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of shit like halting the process, and then there was the ideas that they scrapped and started back over, and so it's what happens when you get a bunch of geniuses who are always trying to top themselves.
You have Toto.
Yeah. I found those at the Goodwill good handful of years ago. Yeah, well.
Damn, 2020.
Oh yeah, okay.
Damn.
More than a handful of years ago. 4 Fingers
Damn.
a year ago.
Okay.
But yeah, to me, their full discography all the way is a full 10. I mean, there's not a single bad album to me at all. All the way through. Boom.
Good lord.
So I'm gonna give them all I can't give
To
them.
me, they're all 10s. I'm gonna say all of them are 10s to me. I can't pick a favorite. I need. If I want the more, there are so many different vibes, and it all works for me. And who knows? I can't wait to see what happens next. That's our light switch.
Light switch.
I mean, if we're doing the entire discography, I would definitely say it's an 8, and that extra 2 is just inoculum. So, but
discography would have been a 10.
as an order, I love Undertow. I like I said earlier. I enjoy the more grunginess of Tool rather than the progginess of Tool. I do like the progginess of Tool. I think that it's overdone in Fear Inoculum, but there are parts that I enjoy on each song, on every song. The album itself is about a 7 to me, so because of that 7. But everything, all the other albums to me are pretty phenomenal. I think Undertow's a 10. I think Enema's a 10. I think Lateralis is a 9, because the progginess probably does it for me. It won't make it a 10. And then 10,000 Days I thought was better than Lateralis. That's a 10. But I remember when I listened to it back in 2006, I hated it.
So why did you hate it in 2006?
I have no idea. It was 2006, dude. That was almost.
He's being angsty.
That was like 20 years ago almost. I don't remember. I was doing angsty. No, I think it's because I didn't know Tool as much. Like I didn't. That wasn't my style of listening.
You
back
was
then.
young.
I was
Yeah,
young.
you heard
I
it
mean,
when it
I
came
was
out.
I was 20 years old. So you know that
Yeah,
was
fuck
18
you.
years. I didn't like prog music.
That was almost 20 years ago. That was 18 fucking years.
Right. So like
God
I wasn't into
damn.
prog music back then. 2006. I was heavy into new metal still. You know, I was getting into the hardcore metal, like the
You wanted to go off and kill.
Damn, I
Kill
didn't know
Switch
you had a real
Engaged
song
and,
with that,
and
though.
like fucking
Oh,
all that
yeah.
metalcore shit. That
He joined the
started up.
military. He's angry. You want to kill.
I didn't
I got that from Charlie.
What?
Damn.
I didn't join until 2008.
This is a BMG
But like,
CD.
like it was a different life for me in 2006. You know, I wasn't married, no kids. I was
That's kind of like how
smoking a
you're
lot,
growing up.
drinking a lot, doing
You
stupid
stuck.
shit.
You mainly stuck to certain.
I hung out with
genres
Josh
the
too
longest.
much when I
Is
was
that
too
We always, back then, we all listened to like really one genre. It was like
Right. I
metal.
mean, there was
We're metal.
genre.
Fuck everything else.
Right. Like
Yeah, I
me
have-
and Josh had a lot of the same stuff.
It's
so
like new metal or
I've
nothing
had
or
one
die.
for years,
Screw
and
off.
then when you showed me the different one, I wound up
his brother
finding one
distracted him from this video. We're still on the video.
too. But
Is he drunk? He can't be drunk.
I just had to put the CDs on up.
Oh, okay.
Acid
But
trip.
yeah,
Just
so
listening to the music.
It was a
gave him acid
different.
trip.
It was a different. I was a different person in 2006.
Yeah, yeah.
You
That's
know,
true.
I had different thought. Do what?
We all were.
Oh no, I mean I'm pretty close to that
We were
person.
18
I just,
years younger.
My tastes are a lot different than it was 18 years ago.
I taste a lot different now too.
Your palate is more refined.
But yeah, I mean, you know, out of all the Tool albums,
duck again.
I mean,
yeah, this time you actually ducked.
I gave
But
it some
yeah, at
effort.
the end of the way though, I can listen to Undertow all the time because it's timeless. There's nothing wrong. It's a perfect album to me. Enema, it was not is a great album, not a perfect album to me.
Damn.
But it's still a 10, but it's not perfect for some. Like I don't know why they had to explain it. Lateralis is not a perfect album to me because of the prog stuff. I just don't like Tool prog. I mean, not that I don't like it. I just it's a certain.
You want Gent Prog. That's what the fuck you want.
what?
just admit it.
You want goddamn animals as leaders. That's your prog. You want fucking goddamn Periphery as your prog.
I like that prog.
Periphery's pretty good though.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. All right, Josh, you the last one.
9.
He said no. You see?
9.
Uh,
9.
No, I like Tool. I've always liked Tool. It's just it's hard to listen to some of the things because I want to skip past some of it, but it's tolerable because it's still when you listen to it, it is worth it. Especially like on Fear Knocking, like I said, I really love Culling Voices. And it just feels like I'll listen to the whole album just to so I can work my way to get to it. I've just been a patient boy, get to that one song I really fucking like. But no, all the songs, they all have their
Moments.
moments where it's like,
He's good.
but it's easy to pull your phone up and fuck around for a second and forget about it. I mean,
That's funny as shit.
maybe back in the early 2000s, yeah, I'm like, oh hell no.
Yeah, I mean, it
Uh,
wasn't.
No, it would not have to be able to. It would not have the attention
Fear
to
Not
sit down
Going
and listen
could
to
not
it.
make it in 2006. It would not have made it. It would have been fucking bombed.
Yeah. If they'd have done, if Fear Inoculum came out in 2006, that would have probably been it for Tool.
See, like you want to love, you want to hate. Join us.
I don't want to hate it. I can make jokes about the shit everybody hates because I get it. I'm like,
Right.
it can be a slog. I have to be in the mood for it. But man,
It's like
when I'm
listening
in a
to
mood
sludge
for
metal
it,
or doom metal,
when I'm in the mood for it, man, Fear Inoculum is a motherfucking journey, and it is just a fucking hour and a half of pure, unbridled, badass musicianship.
and he won't go through that journey again for 13 years.
I'll probably still be on my Tool kick, even through next week, man.
You gotta be. You gotta
It's
write a
just gonna-
song now for.
It's gonna be so
Halloween and stuff.
weird though that
You gotta kind of go back and forth to it. Just be like, yep. I'm
we're
gonna do
supposedly
that.
getting one
You're gonna do
new
a
album next
Tool
year.
song for
That's
Halloween?
weird.
Yeah, doing a Tool
About
style parody. It's gonna be about Frankenstein, and it's gonna kind of like recite the Frankenstein movie. It's like, I just want to build
I'm
a
playing
man.
guitar. It's gonna be badass.
Just give me an arm and leg.
Do you have the bass line written out?
I got it all in my head. I'm still working on lyrics right now. David and I are gonna collab on it. Fuck it, I'm gonna get the drums, bass, and vocals, and give David a bunch of guitar shit. Hoping for like a 5-minute kind of song. Not no 13 minute. I'm not gonna do a 13-minute long.
I don't think I can play that long. My hand would cramp up. And
Well, that's the beauty of digital recording.
Yeah, you get
You
tired
can
of
just
it.
do that.
Record
and
it
leave
first.
it for
Copy
fucking
paste.
yeah.
yeah, he doesn't digital
You just need
record
to use
that.
what you need to do is
I
get a
do it
loop
at my house,
machine.
but-
You loop it. You play that fucking a couple bars, loop it, and it's like, all right, let that
Album
do it.
drop soon.
You can text him and be like, I need you to send me you doing this riff for this many measures.
Now Travis has decided that we're recording everything here.
Yeah, we're gonna record it all here this time.
So there's no copy and paste. It's fuck my hand.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of craziness because with the other song it was like what was it? How did we do this?
I recorded my guitar
Too bad
part
we
to a
can't get
drum
that
beat.
drummer back.
Huh?
Too bad we can't get that drummer back now.
What drummer?
The dude that recorded the fucking
The
what's his
Sum
name?
41 song.
The Tinder.
No,
Oh,
the
you-
Blink 182
Oh,
song.
you talking about Jacob?
Yeah.
Why?
Him and his family over there having
Family drama.
drama, and I know he's always been known to be real flaky.
Ah.
But I mean,
Very talented.
Yeah, very talented.
I heard.
dude.
It was good.
Very talented dude. But yeah. So yeah, David and I are gonna do it over here. Cause how did we do that? We did that. You recorded the guitar.
I recorded the guitar to a drum. Then you tried to do the drums, but then you asked me to send you the drums. I did.
Yeah,
it once.
cause I told him, I said, record yours to a drum beat so you're on time. Send me the guitar track. Then I was like, okay, send it to me with the bass. And then I was
Yeah, I
like,
did the bass too.
yeah. Then I was like, make the bass better. Is that what I said?
No,
Bring
you
the
made it
bass out.
louder,
Yeah,
not
make
better.
the
It
bass-
was good. The bass
Yeah,
is
make
good,
the
damn
bass
it.
loud.
Okay.
Bass better.
Try again and don't embarrass yourself.
Then I fucked
No, I
with
didn't
it,
find
and I
on the
could
bass.
not,
The bass sounds cool.
I could not find a beat for it. I was like, oh man, what's going on? I said, all right, send me your version that has your drums on it, so I can know where your drums are at that you had following, and that kind of helped me be like, all right, I know where these drums are at now, and
Okay.
so then I did my drums. Then it was hard to come up with the lyrics because there's no full-on
It's such a
structure.
good song though. I loved it.
Because it's like, you know, there's let's say 4 lines and then 2 lines and then 3 lines. Like there's no real hardcore structure.
There's no structure in the Chili Peppers song we did.
Well, yeah, it is. That's structured as fuck.
Well, it goes back and forth to the same two things.
Exactly. It's structured
okay.
as
Okay.
fuck.
Never mind.
Yeah, Black Friday was like I did a lot of like weird shit to it. So
Then and then you know with the cowbell my original drums were like just not good sounding, so I sent it back to him, and then he had did some other shit to make the cowbell a little
Digital
quieter.
editing, motherfucker, because I'm like that. It sounded
And
much better.
so it was a lot of sending that track back and forth and all that, and I think the final result was pretty cool.
Turnover.
That's
good.
cool. It's a learning experience.
Yeah, especially with I thought the cowbell shit worked with your little solo. And
Yeah, I was able to cut and paste and then raise my part up so you can hear me over the recorded part, right? And then drop that one down just a little bit so the fucking cowbell wasn't as loud as fucking.
And my original recording, man, because I had the mic right on the snare.
Oh,
and,
God.
And that's right where the fucking cowbell was too. It was just right up on that motherfucker. But yeah, that's it, y'all. What do you guys think about Tool?
We were totally off fucking rails.
I love all of the albums. I have no complaints.
Here's to 2035. when
Yeah,
the
like
next one comes out.
2035 when we're all in a senior home.
2035?
We're all gonna be in a senior home filming this, talking about
That's
the
when
next
Cheddar Pond
Tool.
2 comes out.
Yeah, yeah, when Cheddar Pond 2 comes out.
Cheddar Bob 2, Grandpa says what? That's what the album name is. Grandpa says who?
But we'll see you guys later.
Peace.